There are a lot of uncomfortable truths in the NBA that people just have a tough time coming to grips with. We are going to lay all of those out, break them down, paint a pretty picture or an ugly picture. And you guys can do what you want with it, but we are going to get into these immediately. I do want you guys to know that this is a big week over here at Players' Choice. As you can see at the bottom banner, we have the playoffs of the PCL this upcoming Wednesday and this upcoming Sunday. And also on Thursday and Friday, we will be getting into our shooting guard list and our power forward list as well. All time, that is, by the way. The best shooting guards ever and the best power forwards ever. So that should be fun as well. But today, we got to get into these truths that people just have a hard time accepting. So, Mars, I'm going to pass the baton to you. I'm going to let you go first, and we're going to deep dive into these. Chat, I need you guys to let us know if we're tripping, if the match is tripping, or if the person who the truth is about is tripping. Take it away, Mars.
I wanted Chill to go so I can know like what the temperature was we was going with this.
I could go first if you want me to, Mars. No problem.
I want to know like what the bar is. That's
okay. We can definitely start this.
Chill. Are you starting with the temperature? Are you gonna start like with that picture right there?
I'm not gonna start with that picture. No, maybe I am, but I want to start the conversation with the idea that the game sucks today. No, it doesn't. The game does not suck. Sure, we might have a bit of load management that people don't like, and people want to see the players play a little bit more. Science is more advanced, so you would think that guys who get injured, they would play more than they do today. But the reality is load management has been going on for a while. I mean, Greg Popovich was the one who started that sort of thing. It was plenty of times when he was load managing Tony Parker, he was load managing Tim Duncan, and it just kind of trickled from there. That didn't hurt the game. The game still was awesome then. I think in today's game, we have a bunch of talented guys. I think we have a bunch of athletic guys. I think we have a bunch of skilled guys. But because we sit on what the game used to be, and that's where I'm trying to bridge the gap as one of the older generation dudes, because we sit on what the game used to be, we get so wrapped up in, these dudes are soft. The game today sucks. These dudes can't play. When in reality, that's just not true. That is just not true. The game is awesome today. We got some awesome players in the game today. We got some awesome athletes in the game today. And the game is in a great place. The game does not suck. No, it doesn't.
Were you guys under the impression that the game sucked today?
Sometimes.
I think every era has flaws. I think that's fair.
Based on what though, Ox? Like when you think when you say that, what makes the game in your estimation unwatchable?
It just depends. Like I mean, as far as skill, like as far as the all around game, I think it's come a long way. It's not the same as it once was, but it's still enjoyable. Like it's still exciting. There are certain games in today's era, I think more than there was in the past, where I just have to turn the TV off. You know what I mean? And that's just my own personal preference of what I like to watch. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it happens. Like I said, I know it happens all the time. Like it's happened from beginning of hoop to the end of the keep happening to the end of hoop. I just feel like in the 2020s, it's happened more for me. And that's just because simply just the running up and down, passing up, penetrating, giving up layups just to kick it to contested threes. I don't want to watch that 20 possessions back to back to back to back. Just like, bro, we can run a set. We can play some basketball. Like, I don't want to watch that. But that's all I mean. Like, it's sometimes I think the game is whack, and that's just mostly individual games. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's that.
Mars, you think the game's whack today?
No, but I also don't. I don't think it's perfect, but I don't think it's whack. I think if you grew up in a different era of basketball, I can understand comparing it to what you grew up with or what you saw previously and seeing that teams don't do this anymore, or they don't do that, or they're making more bad decisions. I can understand that. I think statistically the game is factually better than ever in terms of offensive efficiency and ratings and all of those things. But I think I think just sports develops. I think it's becoming less individual. I think a lot of people like basketball for the individualism of like Michael Jordan being able to win by himself, or you seeing these isolations and these guys going at each other one-on-one, where back in the day, a point guard matchup was actually a point guard matchup. It would be this point guard is guarding that point guard. They're going head to head. Now it's okay. Our point guard's not a good defender. We're going to hide him in the corner on this role player, and you don't see those head to heads anymore. Like we spoke about it this past season when it was Wemby versus Chet, and Chet's not guarding Wemby because he's a roamer. Like back in the day, that wouldn't happen. It would just be they're going mano head.
Why do you think that is, Moss? What do you think is spearheading that?
Coaching. It's not about these one-on-one matchups. It's about what benefits the team the most. If someone's a better off-ball defender than an on-ball defender, then we're going to do that for the sake of the team. It's not about us giving the fans this one-on-one matchup that they so desperately desire if that's not the best outcome for the team. Like when Jokic and Embiid play against each other and Embiid's roaming off Jokic, or Jokic was guarding a PJ Tucker, for example. Like, yeah, people want to see Jokic and Embiid go at it one-on-one guarding each other, but coaches are like, that's not the best way for us to win a game. Now, maybe it should be the best way for teams to win a game. Maybe you should be able to guard your position. Sure. But that's just not how the game is right now. And I can understand people not liking it for that. But
I also think social media has spearheaded that too, Mars, because, we have the amount of coverage that we have with NBA TV and ESPN and all of these media outlets. Well, guys are more exposed today than they ever been. So if David Robinson was going up against Patrick Ewing back in the days, if I saw that, I didn't see it on TNT. It might have been a clip of it because the game wasn't on national television. I just saw that Ewing went 24, 13, and 7, and David Robinson might have went 19 and 6. I don't know in terms of how often they played against each other during that game because I didn't see the game. It wasn't on national TV. I might have caught it on SportsCenter or something like that. As opposed to today, guys are way more exposed to one-on-one matchups. Not only are they way more exposed to one-on-one matchups, that now says to coaches, well, if I can't, this also is a problem for the rest of my crew moving forward. So if they see how David Robinson is doing him, well, this team might do the same thing, even though I don't have David Robinson, but they might try to exploit that also instead of just having that one-on-one matchup between those two guys. Because I think it's good for the game. I think it's great for the game. That's how rivalries are created. But the fact that, coaching, like you said, they don't do that, I think social media has enhanced that.
Do you think the players choose their matchups, or like
Yes.
do you think the players are going out there like Steph's going out there like, nah, I don't want to guard Luka. Put me on Derrick Jones.
Yes.
I think they're picking it based off the inability to guard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they're inadvertently picking their matchups. Like, oh, I can't guard him, so I can't. Like if you were a good defender, then you'd be able to guard the better players. Nowadays, these guys only work on certain things. So, so I don't think I think there are times when a guy will go to a coach like, hey, coach, like I got him today. Like, let me I need that matchup. You know what I'm saying? Just more. I think that's happening more than players are saying, oh, coach, I don't want to guard him. But I think also coaches know their personnel where it's like, there's no way I'm putting you on him, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
get out here.
Fellas, before we go any further, we're going to take a quick breakfast break, and then we're going to get back in Mars. I got to hear your unpopular opinion next.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never-frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great-tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code PlayersChoice50 at factormeals.com/PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
I just wrapped up a poll. I asked you guys, does the NBA suck right now? 76% of you guys said no. So shout out the league. It's in a good place right now. So that's good to know. That's good to know that you guys are feeling it and whatnot. But Mars, I need to know an uncomfortable truth for you about the NBA.
Well, the first one I had was a older one. So I guess I'll lead with that. A lot of the stories that people hear that get passed down as NBA lore, grossly over-exaggerated, like extremely over-exaggerated. The one that comes to mind instantly is the Larry Bird decided to give the Blazers 47 with just his left because he was saving his right hand for the Lakers. No. I watched that game this morning. No. He scored, I want to say 20 points with his left hand. So 27 with his right. 20 points is no, like, shout out to him. 6 of them were wide open layups. So one was a wide open transition dunk when no one was even in the front court with him. He didn't get back on defense. They threw an outlet. He dunked it with his left hand. Then he got about 4 wide open layups, just right around the rim, a lefty layup where going up with his right hand would have been a worse decision because he was on the left side of the rim. So he went up with his left hand. He made a couple tough ones with his left hand. He made a little flip shot and one, missed a free throw, but made a flip shot and one with his left hand. He made one little hook shot with his left hand. I was like, nice. He made 2 floaters with his left hand. Everything else was wide open layups. He took 34 shots in that game. 21 of them were with his right hand. So 21 of his 34 shots with his right hand. He made 3 threes in that game. Obviously, he shot them all with his right hand. I thought he made 4, but I guess his foot was on the line in one of them. So, yeah. Larry Bird did not play a game left-handed. He played a game how he regularly plays games. He just used both of his hands a lot because it was necessity for him. He also smoked like 5 layups in that game. So
with his weak hand, or his strong hand?
3 of them were with his strong hands. I think 1 or 2 were with his weak hands. He was wide open, right under the rim. Wide open under the rim with his right hand, missed the rim. Nothing but backboards. Wide open. Larry Bird, 1986, by the way. So this is peak Larry Bird. He did that. So, like, a lot of these things are just grossly over-exaggerated in what actually happens. Another one, which I feel like people don't talk about.
Mars, don't leave that one yet. Don't leave that one yet. Because I do want to say, like, that's a crazy exaggeration. But there is so many times where we're watching games, and so because you said, oh, he made this layup with his left hand, so it's like no big deal. But I just want to say, how many times commentators, even today, are hyping up players for using their weak hand? And I just think it's just, I don't even know what the word is. Like, it's just, I hate it. Like, why, why are we hyping up these professional athletes for being able to use both hands on the basketball court? Personally, I think it's ridiculous.
I would think it's a prerequisite. But they hyped up Larry Bird in that game, look, because he went on a little run in, like, I want to say the early 4th, where he made like 5 straight shots just left-handed. And I think that's like the part that like really pushes the law, because it was back-to-back, not like back-to-back possessions where it was just him scoring, but 5 straight baskets with Larry Bird were all left-handed. Now, 2 of them were layups at the start, but then it was like 3 straight tough ones. He got a floater in transition. Then he got like some hook shot in the post. He spun off, got a little hook. And then he got fouled and he flipped it up and got a left-handed and one. That was like, I'm moved. Then they went to overtime and he ended up just making 3 straight jumpers with his right hand. But I think that's the part that like really pushed the law forward. But the commentators in that game were praising Larry Bird. Apparently he was born left-handed. I don't know that. Maybe they made that up, but that's what they said. He made a shot and it was like, oh, Larry Bird was actually born left-handed. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I just learned something. So that was cool. Also, Larry Bird committed one of the most egregious double dribbles I'd ever seen, by the way, and it didn't get called. So shout out to Larry Bird having the superstar whistle. But yeah, that is just, it's grossly over exaggerated. Now he played well in that game. I think he had a triple double, 47 something, 10 assists, something like that. Played very well, very efficient. He was actually very efficient with his left hand from the shots I've seen, because in the game, it missed some portions of the game. Some of it got cut out. He went 10 for 12 with his left hand. So that's
what I'm saying, Mars. You know, even though don't get me wrong, Mars. Even though it might have been exaggerated, I mean, that's pretty impressive to score almost.
He scored 20 points with his left hand. That's really impressive.
That's
6
what I mean.
of them were wide open layups, but yeah,
47 points and almost half of them be with your weak hand. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Now, to over exaggerated to go, he played the whole game with his left hand. Okay, all right, let's chill out on that. All right, because he didn't do that, but he did play. I mean, he did play a lot of that game with his weak hand, and he was awesome with his weak hand. I mean, to shoot over 80%. I mean, you said 10 for 12. I think that's over 80% with your weak hand.
Well, and everything he did was within 5 feet, except for the 2 floaters he took, which were nice. Everything else was like, he's right under the rim, wide open, going up with left-handed layups. Like, I get you want to, oh yeah, he played left-handed, but like 4 of the shots were like cool, like good touch, good finish. That's cool. It still made more sense to go with his left hand, but I think he was consciously going towards his left to get those looks easier. Right. But the rest of them are just wide open at the rim, no contesting defender. He's going up with a lefty layup. Like, if we want to praise that, like, cool. But that's where 12 of his left-handed points came from. 8 of them, like I said, were the cool shots. But he also went 11 for 21 with his right hand. So that wasn't great in terms of efficiency. Night.
He did.
But I mean, when 3 of them were threes, like true shooting wise, I guess it's cool. But yeah, he missed like 4 or 5 bunnies in that game, just wide open layups. He just smoked. And that's not a miss. That's a pretty common thing for Larry Bird. He missed a lot of layups. So yeah, it's just not true. He didn't score 47 with his left hand. Same thing as people saying that Magic Johnson played a whole finals game at center. No. And the same thing that people say, oh yeah, that Willis Reed game. I mean, it's more so the Walt Frazier game. But shout out to Willis Reed for going out there with a leg that played like
he barely played. Yeah,
he played the first half, and I think he went out there in the second half for like 2 minutes. And like that's it. And he didn't really do anything, but he went out there with courage, and it motivated the Knicks apparently. But people acting like Willis Reed, like he propelled the Knicks to victory. He ain't really do anything in the game actually on the court. So a lot of just over exaggerations. And the reason I say over exaggerations are not lies is because they're like baby truths that just get amplified with like time and nostalgia and people telling stories. And the same thing is going to happen in this modern generation. Like, there's going to be a bunch of lies that get spewed about something LeBron did.
I can't wait, Kevin Durant did. Wait till 25
and then the people who are watching it will either help push the lies because it's their era, or they're going to be like me and be like, yeah, these things aren't true.
Damian Lillard was super nice.
I mean, he was the best scorer of that era. But once you start putting people on a pedestal because of stories that are just not true, at some point I have to say, and this is a great time to say it, it's not true. Like, if you hold Larry Bird in higher regard because he had a game where he just played left-handed, that's a lie. Like, you're putting him in a higher pedestal because of something that's not true. Like, I feel like the game's available now. It misses parts of the first and early second quarter, and it misses a stretch in like the third and early fourth. I don't know where that part of the game is. Couldn't find it anywhere. I tried. But you have like, I want to say like 38 minutes of the game is right there for you to watch. Go watch it. You'll see.
And that happens in everything. All history is amplified. It's be like that. My pops used to tell us, "Oh man, I had to walk to school in the snow with this and that." Like, bro, it don't even snow in LA. You know what I'm saying? So like, what are you talking about?
Hold on, your pops really said that?
What, bro? What? What? He used to, oh man, you think you got it rough, man? We used to have to walk to school in the snow. I'm like, chill. Bro, it don't snow in LA, bro. Like,
y'all generation is notorious for that.
Oh, I ain't gonna argue that.
Y'all be hyping everything.
Turn it into something more than what it is. And that's why I can't, Mars, when you get older and when somebody says to you, especially one of these kids, you hear, Damian Lillard was the best scorer of his era of point guards. Russell Westbrook was this in that era. Russell Westbrook averaged he averaged almost 40 a game in the triple-double. That's going to come up, and it's going to get exaggerated, only except that's just not true because you was there to see it. So you know what it is. So to be honest with you, I mean, I don't have a problem with exaggerations. It's just over exaggerating things. That just makes it bad. Plus, But you know you lying. Like, I don't want to. I think a lot of people, Ron, what they can't decipher. They can't decipher the difference between a lie and misspeaking. I'm intentionally withholding the truth from you when I'm lying. I'm intentionally doing that. If I say, yo, Magic averaged 26 in 1987, when I know for a fact he only averaged 21, I'm lying. I know that for a fact. He averaged 26, he averaged 21 a game in 1987. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He averaged 23 a game in 1987. I know that for a fact. And I know I'm lying to you. I'm not exaggerating. I'm lying. As opposed to Olajuwon had a quadruple double. He had on October when it was in November. Okay, I'm not lying. I just misspoke about that because the quadruple double did happen. He just did it in this month as opposed to the other month. So the lying and the misspeaking, I think that's where the divide is. People don't really understand that.
And you know what? But like Ron said a second ago, once something's happened already, we've seen it, and we telling the story. Sometimes, you know, we hyping it up a little bit, and we know that, you know. But just like the game, just like the game telephone, you know what I'm saying? It's like I exaggerated, then you exaggerated on what I said, then you exaggerated on what I said. So now it's just exponential at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy.
It's like certain things, like for instance, the Steph Curry Olympics that just happened. In order to tell it to your kids, you got to put a little juice on it for them to understand the magnitude of what was going on when we was watching it. Here I am in my 30s jumping around my living room because this man yanking around the whole French and Serbia team, throwing up fadeaway threes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy during that moment in time.
Now, Ron, in 20 years, I'm telling you right now, Ron.
One fadeaway three, but I mean, I guess.
And I'm telling you, Ron, in 20 years,
it was one. It was the one fade. Everything else was a catch and shoot or a pump fade.
That was
Mars.
It was one fade. I remember
Mars. It's no way. 3 weeks. Mars, please tell me you're not going to be that uncle, dad, or grandpa that just tells the story the way it happened specifically.
That's exactly who Mars is. That's going to be Mars.
I'm not a storyteller, but that's the proof right there. Like, the game happened 3 weeks ago. Ron already lying. Like, it just happened.
And Ron, just so you know, Ron, and I don't know, in 20 years when your son is older, Steph Curry was the best player on that Olympic team. Just so you know, he was the best player on that Olympic team. He got busy. Nobody could touch Steph Curry on that Olympic team 20 years from now. I just want to put that out there.
All right, and before we move on, I guess it's a good time to really ask you, Chill. Did Wilt Chamberlain really break that man's foot by dunking the ball so hard that it broke his foot?
If they said it happened, that doesn't mean it happened, to be honest with you.
Maybe his big toe. Maybe not his actual foot, but you know what I'm saying?
No, it had to be his pinky. His pinky toe.
Breaking any bone because of a dunk is crazy.
I mean, you hit it right at the right spot. You know what I'm saying? You could, and it might not be a whole break. It might just be like, what they call a bone spur. You know what I mean?
Interesting. All right. Shout out to Wilt.
Big Ox, an uncomfortable truth in the NBA that you have.
I don't think this is. Initially I thought it was uncomfortable, but some people are gonna. Yeah, I guess so. The truth about championship teams and great squads. The truth of the matter is, star players don't really matter. The truth about winning is that your role players are far more important than your superstar player. The fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth men, those guys that's your championship. That's your championship core right there. And that's where it is.
I don't know if they are far more important, but I do know for a fact James ain't winning in Miami without Udonis Haslem. That's not happening. He's not. Magic is not winning without AC Green and Kirk Rambis. He's not winning. Jordan is not winning without Horace Grant and BJ Armstrong. As good as he is, he's not winning. Now, are they far more important? I'm not going to go as far as to say that Stacey King and Scott Williams are far more important than Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. No, I'm not doing that. But I do know for a fact y'all dudes aren't winning without these guys. It's not happening.
So what I should have said, Chill, is role players win championships. Role players win championships. That's what I mean. Like James Posey, Tony Allen, those guys won that championship in 2008.
But their contribution on a championship level, their contributions only win you championships if the superstars and the stars are doing their job. They wouldn't be the most important.
There's an expectation of what the superstar is already bringing to the table. If you're not bringing that to the table, you're not a superstar. I'm talking about what superstars do is one thing, but they're not winning the games. They're you know what I'm saying? You ever had a meal, Morris, where you just it's just somebody just puts just a steak on your plate. It's just a steak. It's just like you can caramelize some onions and mushrooms and throw them on top of this joint. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get some mashed potatoes, a side salad, some corn on the cob. You know, that right there is what makes it a championship. That steak is going, that steak is just the bulk, the protein. It's there. You know what I mean?
You need them, but more important is what's losing them. I don't think they're more important, but you need them. But,
and Ox, you know me, I'm a dirty work guy. You know how much I love the dirty work guy. You know how much I love how much I love those guys. But when you're talking about not necessarily role players, because they all role players. Every last one of them are role players. That Jordan, James, Jabbar, they all had a role on the team. I won't argue that part. But Phil Jackson made a great quote when he said, "There's piano movers and there's piano players." And as great as the piano sounds, Ox, we need somebody to move it in here. We definitely need somebody to get this thing in this room. Does that mean that the piano player is more important or the piano mover is more important than the piano player? No, I'm not going to go that far, but I will say that we need this dude in order for this piano to get in here. But who did the people come to see? The people came to see the piano player, if we're being honest.
But what they going to play on if that piano doesn't get there? Everybody going to come to watch what? What show are we watching? Ain't no piano here. Am I supposed to just play air piano and make noises with my mouth?
No. That's not no. So maybe it's just equally. I'm not saying that they're equal because again, each role is different. But I'm not going to say that the dirty work guys are more important than the stars. No, I'm not going to say that.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I would say it's equal though too. Then Ox, I'm kind of leaning in your direction. Reason being. Is because we know the stars are stars. We know what they bring to the table. But how many stars have we seen not be able to do shit because they don't have a competent team? Paul George.
It doesn't matter how good
Jimmy Butler,
all-star.
James Harden, Joel Embiid, even though we know his story, but I can go down a laundry list of guys right now that don't have championships and they are star players. And they don't do that in large part because they don't have a good supporting cast. Y'all know I got to fall right back to this last championship. Look at the supporting cast that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum had. We can flip-flop and we can play musical chairs with a bunch of stars. They'll go on that Boston team and win a championship. And I'm not saying this to knock Tatum. We'll get to that later in Uncomfortable Truths. Right. I'm not saying that to knock Jaylen Brown. What I'm saying is if you have a team that good, it's no way you're not going to win. Mo just said L. Harden slander. If Harden was on the Celtics team, I want to tell you guys something. He would have a couple. He might have a few. He might have a dynasty.
Replace the stars with role players. Do Boston still win?
Replace Jason Tatum.
Replace Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown with role players.
That's not what I said, Morris.
I'm asking Ron. Do Boston take Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown off and replace them with role players? Do Boston win?
For what I was saying.
It depends what role players. What role players we talking about?
Think of a role player. I don't know.
Well, it got to be a high level role player, but no, Morris, because you're not asking a role player to do the stars role.
So you need the stars to win, right?
You do need the stars to win. I never said you don't need the stars to win.
But then why are we leaning to the role players are more important if the role players, what they do is irrelevant if they don't have stars to do what stars do?
Okay, and what the stars do is irrelevant to it. It's just going to
exactly. So why are we saying one is more important?
That's why we're on a team.
If the stars can't win without the role players, and the role players can't do anything without the stars, why are we saying the role players are more important if all of their contributions, the dirty work, the switchability, the rebounding, is irrelevant if they don't have a star who can go get them a bucket?
The thing.
Well, because I think most more players, it's easy. Well, it's easy to score the basketball. You know what I'm saying it's easy. It's easy to score the basketball. I think you give any of these professional basketball players the green light. Any of these professional basketball players shooting 27, 28 shots. they're gonna score the ball.
28 shots is not good basketball.
I didn't say it was good basketball. I'm not saying these dudes are playing good basketball, Mars. Those words never came out my mouth.
But I'm saying easier though.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to score the basketball. These dudes are out here shooting 25 shots a game.
Yeah, but then
you know what I'm saying, like if that's true, but everybody's not. But there's a certain group of people that's out here shooting 25 shots a game. If you can't score that many points, all right. Well, you know what I'm saying. See that there we go, Mars. But that, if you're shooting 23, you're shooting 25. All right. So I'm saying is, these dudes that are out shooting all these shots, it's you should be able to score the basketball. It's easy to put the ball in the hole.
I thought Jordan Poole would be a lot better than what he was, and that just didn't work.
There was 4 people who took 20 shots a game. 4.
Anyways, these dudes are shooting a bunch of shots a game, right? So it's like if you there's so many people that if you just give them the ball green light, go score the ball. That's easier. A lot of dudes aren't willing to do the other stuff. A lot of dudes aren't willing to make the extra
Paul
pass.
George already made that clear.
Paul
George already said that.
A lot of dudes aren't willing to get on the block and bang for rebounds. A lot of dudes aren't willing to move without the ball. More often than not, they want to stand around dribbling like Paul George. You know what I'm saying? Dudes want to do that. It's easier to score the basketball than it is to facilitate and stuff like that.
I think I know what you're saying. The idea that if my role is just to get buckets, it's way different than if I'm the dirty work guy. Like I got to slow this guy down, or if I got to stick my nose in there and I got to rebound, or if I got to be the facilitator, my job is way more difficult as opposed to all I got to do is just get buckets. And if all I got to do is get buckets as a bucket getter, that's not that difficult, especially if I'm getting 22, 25 shots a game. That's not that difficult. That's not to say that scoring is difficult. That's not to say that scoring is easy in the NBA, because that's not true. But if that's all you asking me to do, as opposed to, all right, I got to slow this guy down and I got to get this guy involved in the game. I got to stick my nose in there and rebound. I got to slow this guy down on the block. I got to defend him on the block. That's a lot more difficult than just me being a defender.
Sure, you got to look at what people are working on from this high, from when you're this big to when you're a grown adult. What are we working on? We're working on putting that ball in the hole. That's what the drills are about. These dudes are working on getting shots off. These dudes, first thing you're working on getting your form right. You're shooting. You're getting this. It's so easy to put that ball in the basket because that's the basis of what these people are working on. That's why to one of y'all point earlier about what was it earlier? We were talking about the defense and what people so we were talking about the defense, and what I said a minute ago, it was about I think it was your point, Chill, when we were talking about people playing off ball or something. But basically that's just because they're only working on the scoring part. More often than not, people are just working on scoring. That's why it's so easy to put the ball in the basket, because that's the first thing we work on when you start playing basketball, as opposed to playing defense, as opposed to making good passes, as opposed to moving without the ball, as opposed to playing a role, as opposed to rebounding and working on getting position. All the things that these role players are doing, because that's what it takes to win games. Scoring the basketball, everybody can do that. If you go in the gym, all these guys that people think can't score, all the guys that people that watch and are like, oh, you can't score the basketball. You go in the gym, these dudes was out here lighting it up. Like it's easy to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, in the gym, not in the league. But
if they got those shots, they can do it.
Mars, a lot of people put up.
You have to justify getting those shots. Teams aren't just giving PJ Tucker shots, because in the open gym you can get buckets. He's not doing that against NBA players where he has to create his own advantages. Can he do that in an open run? Sure. But in order to be a high-level scorer in the league, you have to be able to justify getting those touches. And the way you justify getting those touches, in today's game, efficiency, decision-making, and once again, I'm going to double down on it, efficiency. Anyone, if you give them 30 shots, can score a bunch of points in the NBA. Anyone. But you have to justify getting those 30 shots by being efficient while you do it, by making good decisions, and being able to actually generate 30 shots for yourself. It's not just, give them 25 shots. No, you have to generate 25 shots. You can't just, 25 shots is going here. No, you have to be able to create 25 shots. How is Cam Thomas can create 25 shots, but can Cam Johnson create 25 shots in the NBA? Probably not. And if he can, they're probably not going to be good shots. So no, not everyone can just score in the NBA. And even if they could, there's going to be a clear divide in between what Kevin Durant can do and what Cam Johnson.
Yeah, I mean Kevin Durant,
and that's why the stars are more important.
Kevin Durant is different, but
can't do what Kevin Durant can.
Scoring is 100% the easiest part of the game.
That's fine. It's cool. But no one can. You can't replicate what Kevin Durant can do. But you know what you can do. You can replicate effort. You can replicate hustle. You can replicate rebounding. That's why there's more role players than there are stars.
You should.
But that's why there's more role players in the NBA than there are stars.
You should be able to replicate that. But most people aren't replicating that.
But that's what the NBA
everybody's
not playing defense.
Here's why.
The NBA has more role players than stars.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Because their skill sets are more replicatable.
Also,
it's easier to be a spot-up shooter. It's easier to be a Swiss Army knife on defense than it is to be a go-to number one offensive option. That's why there's more of them than there are of the actual stars in the NBA. When there's more of something, that means it's easier to come back. There's more nurses than there are doctors. There's more delivery drivers than there are presidents. Like, there's more of something because it's easier for people to get into it. There's more people working on McDonald's than there are doing other things.
It's not necessarily because it's easier. It's because there's more needed. You need more nurses than doctors. You don't need more doctors than nurses. It's not because it's just harder to be a doctor. It's because you need more nurses. You need more delivery drivers. You need more. You need more delivery drivers than you need presidents.
Take away any high-end job that you need more. If you need more, then you're gonna have more.
No, also,
supply and demand works in that way. But the reason why there's more of these things is because the skill set required to do those things, like delivery driving, are easier than more hard jobs to attain. Doctors are extremely valuable. You know why? Because it takes a long time to become a doctor, and it takes high levels of knowledge.
Who do you think runs the hospital? Nurses or doctors?
Probably the hospital president by funding it.
Nurses.
Okay, that's fine. Sure, I'm cool.
And
once again, that's why I went back. That's why I'm stuck. That's why I stuck on the delivery driver point, because maybe the nurse point was out of touch and was wrong. The delivery driver point, the McDonald's employee point. There's a reason why there's more people working in McDonald's than there are in jobs that take more skill. There's a reason for that, because it's easier to do that than it is to develop a skill in trades or craftsmanship. So there's more of them. That's how it works.
And also, it's more realistic. And it's more realistic, Ron, to attain being that guy than that guy. Like, how many KDs are there? How many guys see KD and go, okay, I want to be that? Okay, you might want to be that, but how realistic is for me to be KD as opposed to being Avery Bradley? Okay, I definitely could do that.
Chill, but I can also say the same thing about high-level role players. And this is why I say role players are more important than you guys are giving them credit for. The Derek Whites, and I'm going to stick on the Celtics. The Derek Whites, the Drew Holidays, the Al Horfords, those elite level role players. Who else has elite level role players like that? Let's go back to the Spurs teams. They had elite role players on those teams. We can even go back to the 0-1 Lakers. I'm not even going to address the Warriors. You guys know the role players that they had. Let's go to the 0-1 Lakers. Derek Fisher bailing them out, but also playing elite level defense and being a knockdown shooter. Robert Horry bailing out Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe don't have rings without Derek Fisher and Robert Horry being high level role players. Rick Fox, guys like that, like they help those guys. Like, you know,
everything they do is irrelevant if Shaq and Kobe on.
I can't, obviously, Mars.
Everything Shaq and Kobe do.
That's my point. So why would
I said
high level role players, right? I said high level role players. So it's harder for the Lakers to three-peat if you take out Derek Fisher and you put in Smush Parker. If you take out Robert Horry and you put in.
Well, Smush Parker is different, Ron, and the reason why you put in Smush Parker,
that's why I said high-level role players.
Okay, well, the reason why Derek Fisher became a high-level role player because he was on that crew for a long time. You can't just insert Smush Parker and then this thing just keeps rolling just because we got Shaq and Kobe. No, that's not the way that works. Derek Fisher was with Shaq and Kobe for 8 years, so they built that kind of chemistry. He was with Rick Fox was with Shaq and Kobe for over 5 years. Bryant Shaw, 4 years. When you build that kind of chemistry with a crew, you see the results when you see the NBA Finals, when you see the playoffs, how these guys play off of each other. It's not like they're just throwing role players in there and these guys are just doing the job. No, these guys build this kind of camaraderie. These guys build this kind of chemistry, and then you see what the Lakers are doing. Now, when you're talking about high-level role players like Tony Kukoc, who was already on the Bulls before Jordan came back.
He got inserted, though.
Right, he did, but when Jordan came back, when Jordan came back, that unit still, when Jordan came back, was able to still be a cohesive unit. They just added Jordan to that unit. That unit was already put together before Jordan came back. He was just the difference in what they were doing. So when you're talking about high-level role players, these guys develop a chemistry. You don't just put somebody on a crew. There are exceptions. Dennis Rodman was the exception, but Dennis Rodman recognized very simply, all I got to do is rebound and defend. But I can do that anywhere.
See, to my point, and just kind of like where I kind of want to drive this home, though, Chill, is you guys keep using Kevin Durant as an example, and that's the perfect example, right? Because it's why did this fool keep getting swept in the playoffs? It can't be because he's not good. We know how dope Kevin Durant is, right?
Right. So
that's what I'm saying. Like you can have elite players, but you need that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dude to be able to come through, raise their level of play, and get busy in the playoffs. I feel like that's my point there. Like Kevin Durant, y'all use Kevin Durant. I've heard his name 6-7 times already between the two of y'all.
Right.
And so it's like, well, if that's the case, then shouldn't he have been able to carry his squad to at least 5, 6,
no
7
one is
games?
saying no. Okay, first of all, KD's been swept twice in his career. No one is saying no one is saying role players aren't important. I don't think Chill's saying that.
No,
I know I'm not saying that. I've advocated for role players on here a lot. No one is saying they aren't important. The disconnect seems to be in the more important part, when every contribution they provide is only valuable as long as the superstar is doing what they are supposed to do. Everything Derek White provides, everything Josh Hart provides, everything Drew Holiday provides becomes irrelevant if the team has no stars, because they don't win anything if they don't have the stars doing the stars' job. They are important in their role, absolutely, and teams don't win without role players. I've been the one advocating that when they say LeBron came back 3-1. No, the Cavs came back 3-1. When the Warriors came back 3-1 against OKC, it wasn't Steph Curry beating KD. It was the Warriors beating the Thunder.
Brown was coming with 41 and
that's fine. And that's fine. And Kevin Love was playing good defense coming off the concussion. And Kyrie was doing his thing. And Tristan Thompson was competing. They all did things.
Yes, they were.
My point is, their contributions matter. Role players matter. You're not winning without role players. The Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, you're not winning without role players. The Warriors with Steph, Clay, the KD Warriors, I don't know. They didn't have great teams in 18 in terms of the bench, but besides the point. But you need the superstars to do what superstars do to make the role players' jobs relevant.
Right.
Like that's what you need. That's why I disagree with more important.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't argue that point. What I want to ask y'all is this. This is my final question. Regardless. I want to know, what do we think? What team is better? So you asked, get those guys out of Boston, right? So let's say you get those two guys out of Boston, and you put so you replace Jaylen Brown with, I don't know, okay, perfect, because y'all know I love Norman Powell. So let's say we put Norman Powell over there, and Malik Monk. You know I love League too. So let's say we put Mikal Bridges. All right, chill. Let's say we put Mikal Bridges and Norman Powell over there. I don't know. I think we could do better than that. Okay, fuck it. Norman and Mikal, and you take those two guys out of there, and then you just have another team with subpar role players, but a superstar. What team do y'all think is better? What team do y'all think goes further? And I'm not saying this like this is gonna prove my point or anything. I'm just generally curious to like see what y'all think. Is a team full of good role players or bad role players and a superstar? I'm not talking about a regular star. I'm talking about a superstar like Joel or Luka, something like that.
A prime example, Ox, would be that Clippers team right before they got Leonard and Paul George. That team, they didn't have any stars, but they ended up making the playoffs. They were a bunch of dirty work guys with Pat Beverley on that crew. I forgot who was on that 19 team. I want to say
Trez was over there. Lou Will was over there.
Yes, they were a bunch of role players, but, and I always bring it to entertainment, they were missing the lead singer. As great as the backup singer sound, the lead singer turns this song into a hit. But the lead singer doesn't sound nearly as good without these guys in the background harmonizing. So as good as the Clippers were as a unit, whatever they were building with a bunch of those role players, they didn't have that lead singer. And they need that lead singer in order to push them over the top. But I can say the same thing. I can say the same thing for a guy who's a lead singer, but he's got a bunch of bad background singers. Right. This doesn't sound. They
messing up the whole song,
screwing it up. But you get the right people behind him. This is a great song. So when I think about great role players, these guys go hand in hand. I can't say that stars are more important than role players, but I also can't say role players are more important than stars. They both have their roles. They both have their jobs outright. And if they don't do their jobs, we're not winning. Just like we're not winning without LeBron James. Just like we're not winning without Magic. We ain't winning without AC Green neither. We're not.
Well, I wanted to say that role players win championships. I got a little carried away and said more important. And I think y'all definitely stuck on that, and rightfully so, because I did say that. But I wanted to say like role players win championships.
They need more.
That's my main point. That's my main point.
And I agree with that. They need more credit. But I've been an advocate for just giving the superstars credit for the championships is stupid. But someone said, to answer your question, the 18 Cavs versus the 18 Celtics. That would be an example of what you asked. Right?
Okay. Yeah. That's not the Cavs did win that. And we shouldn't have dunked on Bron.
but I do agree with if your point is just that teams need their role players to win championships or role players are underappreciated. I agree. More important, vehemently disagree. But I also think it can't be on an individual basis. It can't be who's more important, Shaq or Derek Fisher. That's pretty important. But if you say who's more important, it depends on the team, but let's say for the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, Shaq and Kobe or 3 through 9, I think that's where you can have the conversation. Like that's where you can say Shaq and Kobe need 3 through 9, 3 through 9 need Shaq and Kobe. But once you just start minimizing it to Shaq versus Rick Fox, it's like what we do. Yeah, so like the role players as a conglomerate versus the superstars, which one needs more? I think that's where you can get to 50-50. And I'm fine with that. My whole argument hasn't been about the stars being more important. My whole argument has been about the fact that the role players aren't more important. I'm fine with 50-50 because you're not winning without either one. Yeah. But on an individual basis, stars are more important than individual role players. But once you start grouping them together, I think that's where we can have the conversation on how equal it is and all of those things. So, yeah.
All right, y'all. Chat, y'all already know the drill. I don't got to say too much. Y'all know to like the video. Y'all know to subscribe. Y'all know to join the membership tier, and specifically join that Hall of Fame tier if you're wondering what tier you should join. And also, happy to have you guys in here on this good old Monday. We are going to continue to go down this list of uncomfortable truths and unpopular opinions. Salute to everybody in here. Check out playerschoicemerch.com if you haven't. And also, yes, Cool G, the chat does clear. I forgot. My bad. The chat absolutely clears. And also, the PCL playoffs, just a moment. The PCL playoffs start this Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern time. I can't wait. The playoffs will kick off with Mars and Jack Cody. So let's get prepared for some fireworks. The topics are already dished out. We got live judges. It's going to be a little different. So I'm eager to see who advances. Remember, it's loser goes home. So
are the judges going to have to explain their votes, or they just get to hide behind their votes anonymously?
Please, no anonymous judges, Ron.
They get to hide behind their
That's crazy.
So you guys can beat these judges down to their knees? Pause.
No. You can put like me and Jack, for example. You can put us backstage. But I think the judges should have to come up and explain why they voted.
You guys are gonna rip these judges limb from
limb. No, Ron, we can't rebut
we don't have to talk because after the debate is done, I'm leaving anyway.
You guys, the chat.
The chat rips us apart every day.
No, they should have to stand on their votes. They should be able to explain why they made their decisions. I think they should have to.
It's just like how I feel like the refs should have post-game interviews just like the players.
All right, well, when the refs get post-game interviews, we'll include that.
Here go Ron protecting the judges. They can just say whatever nonsense they want.
The words of my man Chill, the judges are necessary. That's all I can say. The judges are necessary. I mean, the thing about it is, we'll rock with the chat vote, but it's gonna be the panel in the final four. It's gonna be Mars versus Swiper and Chill versus Ox. And it's we're not here for a popularity contest.
No chat vote.
Yeah. I just think I don't know why the judges can't come up and explain themselves. Like I don't
Mars,
know.
I'm starting to get the impression that you're trying to bend the rules for your favor, Mars.
Bend the rules.
Yeah.
I just think it makes sense. The judges should have to explain their votes. Like they just get to make a vote and not have to. So they could just, like, hypothetically, they could just pick OG the Beast 3-0 against Chill, even though Chill clearly wins, and they don't have to explain it. The chat still gets a vote. The chat isn't. The chat doesn't have to explain theirs. Okay.
But Ron, the thing about it is sometimes the judges aren't like paying attention, and then they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like that happens, bro. Sometimes they might get distracted. And now we want to know, like, did you hear these points, Judge? Or are you just coming up here like, oh, you know what? He won. But why?
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. You protecting the judges. It is what it is. I mean, I see how it is. Good to know.
Well, all I'm trying to do is give Jack a snowball's chance in hell. Literally, Mars.
No, Jack has a chance for sure. As long as he shows up.
Matter of fact, I said snowball. I meant snowflake's chance in hell.
Damn.
But you know, we will see. Wednesday is coming up on us soon, 7:30 Eastern time. You guys make sure you are there on time with your popcorn, your candy, and everything else that you may need to stick it out. It's 4 battles this time too. So it will be 4 debates on Wednesday and 4 debates on Sunday. Winner advances. This is going to be crazy, y'all. So we'll see. But moving along into unpopular truths. I didn't think I was coming with one.
What you got, Ron? Just about
Tyrese Halliburton is the best point guard of all time.
That's not unpopular anymore. Y'all know that. And I've already said that too. So it's no need for me to continue to go into that. But
Please
y'all put your seatbelts on, all right? Some of y'all are gonna take this as hate. I don't think it's hateful. I think it's more so truth of what we're gonna see going on into the future. But what I want to say is about Luka Dončić. I believe he's going to have a Jerry West type career where he puts up a lot of numbers. He's always one of the better players in the league. He's always one of the premier guards. And he possibly goes to some finals. He makes deep finals runs and things like that. But I just don't think
it's not going to lead to winning.
He may get one. And I think I'm being generous.
That one that he gets, what is that one gonna equate to? Because he could lose 3 or 4, and that one, some people may put Luka as like a top 10 player all time.
I mean, Jerry West gets very highly rated based on who he was as an individual.
Yeah, there's gonna be some Nimrod that puts him top 10 anyway. So
respect Luka.
I respect Luka. I honestly don't think I agree with that, Ron. I'm sure Dallas is gonna, keep building that squad. Derek Lively's gonna keep getting better.
Right.
I'm sure Luka's gonna get himself maybe 2.
Man,
what could he have done, Ox?
He's a lock for MVP this year, I think.
Let me ask you this question, Ox. What could he have done this finals that just passed? Luka's healthy. What could he have done to beat that Boston Celtics?
Absolutely nothing.
0.
Absolutely nothing.
So they weren't winning regardless.
I don't think so. That Boston. Remember, we talked about this. We talked about that. There's the top 8 players in that series. 6 of them played for the Celtics. They weren't winning that. But
what does he do next year against the Celtics if he goes back?
It's not going to be. It's not going to be on him, Ron. It's not going to be on him. It's going to be on his front office. It's going to be on his role. It's going to be on his role players. It's going to be on Derek Lively getting better. It's going to be on that. It's going to be on Jason Kidd coaching. It's going to be on the GMs. You know what I'm saying? They went and got Klay Thompson. I know y'all think Klay is washed. I don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's just making moves for him in the offseason. If they can make a couple moves, bro, Luka's going to get some championships, bro. Like, He doesn't, and y'all know how much I critique Luka not playing defense, not competing on the defensive end. That doesn't too much matter in today's NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like if they get him a couple more players and he does compete a little bit more on that defensive end, bro, Luka's gonna win multiple championships.
Well, see, that's actually, so I didn't even get into that point. I didn't even get into the point of his play style. That's one thing that it's, how many people have we seen not play one side of the ball and be very heliocentric on offense, win a championship? Dudes like James Harden, that type of play style.
I don't think Luka's a chalk card. Right?
Well, no, you're not the bad guy, Mars. You can say Magic, but who did Magic have with him?
Magic wasn't as bad as you say he is, Mars. He wasn't.
No, chill.
Wasn't.
Say Magic. Let's keep it on Magic. Who did Magic have with him?
Kareem. James Worthy, Kareem.
He had AC Green.
So that's what I'm saying. If
and a weak West, yeah.
If Jason Tatum comes over and if somehow he pairs up with Wemby, all right, that's different. But if he, you see what I'm saying? That's different. But if he stays by himself in Dallas, I just think it's going to be hard to build a contending team around him. But also, it's not just his play style too. We can all see the writing on the wall. I just mentioned his name. Victor Wembanyama is coming. We can all see the writing on the wall. The Houston Rockets are building something that is going to be insane, Mars. Hey, but let's keep going, Ron. Keep going, Ron.
Right now, Luka's the best player of all these players you just mentioned. Wemby's not.
Hey, 5 minutes ago, role players win championships. 5 minutes ago, role players win championships. Now we're going to talk about best player. Nah, this is hypocrite.
But no, I said. What did I say a second ago, Mars? I said
Houston and Dallas in 4 years. Guarantee it will be 7 Houston players. Guarantee.
Mars, I just said that they're gonna have to get him some role players, some better players. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. But all I'm saying is he bringing up Wemby like Wemby's better than Luka. Like he's not better than Luka, bro. I don't think he will be for a couple seasons.
Hey, but he on his ass. Pause.
And even with that being said, Ron, Wemby in 2 or 3 seasons can be better than Luka, especially because he plays both sides of the court. But that doesn't mean he's going to have his fingerprints on the game the way Luka does.
Wemby is not close to Luka right now. No, he isn't.
Not even close.
This is the shit that I'm talking about, Ron. He is not.
Here's what I'm saying. I never said he was better. I said he's
you just said he on his tail.
He said he's coming. He said he's coming.
Ron, you got me up here defending Luka Dončić. I really don't like it. I really don't like it.
Here's also the thing. So I mentioned Wemby. I mentioned the Rockets. You guys, most of you guys, because Ox, you probably don't. Most of you guys have OKC winning the West. If they're a better team than them today, and they're a younger team than them today, why won't they be better in the next year, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, it's hard to project. A lot of things can happen, but I generally think what you're saying, like you might be wrong. Luka might end up winning 5. Like
that's a fact.
But I think you're explaining it well. Like it's hard to win a championship, and it's hard to win a bunch of them. I feel like people have been spoiled by the fact that the Warriors dynasty just happened. They won 4. LeBron's got 4. Kobe and Shaq 5 and 4 respectively. Duncan's got 5 over 20 years. Jordan's got 6. But it's hard to win a bunch of champions. Like, not to like segue, but if Jokic retires with 1, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I wouldn't be, if Giannis retires with 1 championship, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, it's hard to win championships. So saying
Giannis is done, man. He's not getting no more.
Saying Luke is this good, so he's gonna win a bunch. Like, I don't think that's necessarily how it works. Luka might be the best player in the world for the next 5 years and not win a championship just based on team building and what the league has going on. Maybe there's injuries at the wrong time. Like a lot of things have to go into winning. So Luka can be as good as you say he is, or as good as I say he is, or as good as someone else says he is, and still not ultimately win. So I can see Ron saying they might not. If he wins 1, that's cool, but he might not win a bunch. Like it makes sense. Dallas right now probably aren't the favorites. Kyrie's getting older. You're relying on development of Derek Lively and Max Prosper and Jaden Hardy. Jason Kidd hasn't shown to be a great coach. Luka's already 25. Like saying he might only win 1.
Damn, he's getting up.
I mean,
there.
I remember when Luka got drafted. Like, right. I'm not saying that he's old.
I know it sounds
Luka's
ridiculous.
been in the league like 6-7 years now.
This is year 7 we're going into. And
like the CBA has made it so like super teams aren't really going to be a thing in terms of the second apron and stuff. So it's not like Luka can just stack the deck and win. Like it's going to have to be in an era of parity. And like
it's gonna be difficult. Like if Luka retires with one ring, I don't think that's a knock on how good he was as a player. I think it's just more so an indication of how egalitarian the era was.
That's what I was about to ask you. Would it be because of this era? Because I mean, we've had 6 different champions in the last 6 years, and the idea that Joker might not win another championship, like we might have just seen it, and that's it. We might not get any more from Joker. Is that ridiculous to think that? I do think Joker may have another one in him. I do. I don't think that we're going to see what we saw with the Miami Heat or with the Golden State Warriors, where we see a team in the NBA championship, for the next 5 years. I just don't think that that's going to happen. And the reason why is because of the money situation and how these teams are constructed. As much as I see what they're doing in Boston, and I'm a Jason Tatum guy, I don't know how long they can keep that unit together, even though they got everybody back. I think that that's one of the main reasons why they got everybody back, because we know that we're not going to be able to do this for long. So because we have this right now, let's see if we can win it again right now. This isn't guaranteed where we got Steph Curry on the cheap, right? Where we got Klay Thompson on the cheap, and we can hold on to these dudes for 3 or 4 more years, and we can just rotate these role players. No, that's not the way that works. These guys that we got on this crew now, we got them on max deals. So we got to win right now, because in 2 years, this thing is going to get ridiculously expensive. And that's more times than not what breaks units up. So I would I be surprised if Joker didn't win another one? I would be, Mars, off the strength that how good he is and what we've seen him get to the NBA championship with and win it, like that couldn't happen again, as opposed to him going to the NBA championship 3, 4, 5 years. No, I don't see that part. But him getting another one, I'd be surprised if he didn't get another one. Same thing with Giannis.
So for the Luka point, that means you've got Jokic winning one more. You've got Giannis winning one more. That's already 2 championships off the table. Mm-hmm. And we know Giannis ain't going to be around for the next 10 years, and neither's Jokic. So over the next 5 or so years, that's 2 championships accounted for, Jokic and Giannis. Because you think
how Giannis getting one?
Chill said he thinks Giannis is going to get one. I'm just going off what Chill said. So over the next 5 years, we've got 2 accounted for. It's fair to say Boston might get another one.
Let me clarify that, Mars, real quickly. I want you to keep going. I don't think it's in Milwaukee. I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
I don't think it's in Milwaukee.
I can get with that for sure.
Okay, but it's still 2 of the 5. So that's 2 of the 5. So we've got 3 left. Is it fair to say Boston are probably going to get another one?
I think they're going to win. I do think that they're going to
win. Yeah, I'm just saying one to be safe.
I do think that they're going to win it again.
So that's 3 out of the 5. That's 3 out of the 5 championships. OKC are coming. We don't know how the Spurs are going to progress in the next 5 years. We've got Orlando coming up. We've got. Yes. Who do you want me to say? Ox?
Excuse me.
I don't know who to say.
The Lithuanian dude he wants you to say.
Oh no, that's not what he's asking.
Yo, we got DeMar DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not saying I should say the Kings.
That's
but
exactly
long story short, just off of that, Luka has 2 chances of a championship. Just based on that ideology, Luka has 2 shots of winning a championship in the next 5 years. If he fails at both of them, God forbid he's injured in one of the postseasons,
which he was just now.
Like the Wolves, like there's teams, the Wolves, the Magic, the Pacers.
We're better than the Magic, bro. Come on.
5 years from now, will you be? I don't know. But like, long story short, like, and then obviously you need great health. So if Luka can't be hurt in one of these postseasons, because that ruins the Dallas Mavericks' chances. Like, it's hard to win a chip. A lot of things have to go right, and that's why I say judging these individual players and using like ring count as like a measure. It's like there's so many things outside of the player's control that goes into winning a championship. So I'm not gonna be like Luka's not that guy because he didn't win. If the reason they didn't win is because there were better teams in the league, or because he got hurt at a bad time, or because his teammate got hurt at a bad time. Like, there's so many things that go into it. It's not. I don't think it's a knock on Luka if he retires with 1 or no rings, unless he's actively a detriment to his team's chances. Then we can have that conversation. But just knowing what we know about Luka, top 5 player in the league, I don't think it's going to be on him that they don't win.
All right, y'all. Let's keep it going. Chill. We are back around to you with an uncomfortable or unpopular opinion about the NBA. What you got for me?
We're going to talk about it. What day are we doing the power forwards list?
Friday.
I think we're doing the power forwards list on Friday. And Ox and I had this conversation. I think there's a difference between a better player and somebody that does a job better. Like I think Havlicek was better than Scottie Pippen. I think Scottie Pippen was a better small forward than him, though. I think that's the difference.
Ox is not happy.
Sorry, I apologize. But with that, with that being said, the unpopular opinion in the NBA, I think Dirk was better than KG. I do. I think Dirk was better than KG at the 4 spot. Yes, I do. I think he was better than him.
Wait, no. Repeat it.
I think Dirk was better than KG. No, I don't. I'm just fucking with y'all. I'm just
Yo,
my chest.
I'm just playing with you.
You got had a troll.
I'm just playing with y'all.
Now he up here working the chat. Wow.
No, I don't think that, yo. No, I don't. No, I don't.
I was about to say, chill. You gonna have to explain yourself now until the end of the show. Yeah, you got 2 more hours to get yourself out of this one.
I'm just playing with y'all. So,
I think Ox would have disowned you as a friend. First Scottie Pippen, then KG.
No, I don't think that. I'm just playing with y'all dudes.
I couldn't breathe.
As much as y'all dudes troll me and make me nuts up here, I was good for one. I was good for one.
But chill, that's that coach that never runs a trick play. And then all of a sudden he runs a trick play on the 5-yard line. I just burned you for a 95-yard touchdown.
I don't think that. No.
See, trolling is fun, right? You have fun.
It is, bro. It is
exactly.
From time to time, it is fun. That was fun. But one of the misconceptions is that we don't have footage, and the fact that you can now go back and look at film, and now you can actually talk about players. People see games in black and white and think it sucks. You can't just do that. You can now go back and watch players, whether it's in black and white or it's in color. You can go back and watch players and marvel at their games instead of just going, yo, that was in the 60s, that was in the 70s, that was in the 80s. That's an unpopular opinion where people don't want to talk about that. People don't want to just say that, yo, these dudes in the 70s, they was whack. There's actual games where you could go back and watch Rick Barry. There's games where you could go back and you can watch Jamal Wilkes, where you can watch Pistol Pete, right? And you can go see these guys. So we don't have to just get stuck on it was the 70s. No, we can actually go back and watch these guys and marvel at their talent. I think that's an unpopular opinion.
Shout to marveling at their talent. I agree.
Yeah.
I think you got to watch it within the confines of their time. Like if you go into watching, and a lot of people are disingenuous, so they're not going to do this. And a lot of people don't care about the past of the game. So this is only for the people who actually value the NBA, the history of basketball, history of the NBA. If you go into it watching a 70s game, expecting Pete Maravich to be just as good as Kyrie is in 2024 from a skill perspective, and then when he's not, you just say the era's trash. You're doing it wrong. But if you watch him within the confines of his time, understanding the rules of the time, understanding how the game was played, and you watch a guy like Pete Maravich, or you watch a guy like Earl Monroe, or you watch a guy like Tiny Archibald, whoever you want to watch, and you watch them within that time and you see the things they do, that's where I think you can get an appreciation for the game and how not only how it's developed, but like how they helped pioneer things that happen today. I think that's what doesn't get enough respect, is the people who pioneered the game, the people who were able to push the game forward. Whether that be Elgin Baylor, whether that be Rick Barry, whether that be Tiny Archibald or Earl Monroe or Pete Maravich or Isaiah Thomas, like whoever you want to say, their impact on pushing the game forward to the state in which we see it today, that doesn't get enough respect. And I'm not saying you have to rank them wherever you want all the time. I think if you just watch it without the thought of ranking things, like it doesn't need to be, I'm watching this guy to see if he's better than this guy today. Just watch it to appreciate what it is and to see how they help pioneer the game. I feel you enjoy the game more, and I think you'll have a more newfound respect for the game. Not everything has to be about comparison. I think that's what ruins a lot of things for people, when they feel the need to compare everything to something else. And then you end up either just being disappointed, or just being overtly negative about the past of the game or the current game, because everything is about, well, Bird would destroy this era, or this guy wouldn't do this in the 90s. Like, if everything ends up being a comparison, it ends up just being a bunch of negative stuff. If you watch it with a positive, trying to be positive, not trying to compare, I think you'll appreciate the game much more for what it was.
And on top of that, Mars, the idea that when, like me, for example, when I compare a guy, he reminds me of That's all. I'm not saying that he's better than this guy. I'm not saying that this guy is better than him. He reminds me of him when I watch this guy. Like when we first had the conversation about Wemby. When I saw Wemby, I'm thinking, that's Ralph Sampson right there. Does that mean that he is better? That means Ralph Sampson is better than him? No, it doesn't mean that. Does that mean he's going to be better than Ralph Sampson? No, but he reminds me of Ralph Sampson, which would trigger you. Let me go see Ralph Sampson. Let's see what he's looking at. Let me go watch some Ralph Sampson footage to see what he's looking at. When I see Ant and I'm going, that's Mitch Richmond right there, except a better athlete. Well, wow, let me go see some Mitch Richmond. And then maybe when you go back and you watch Mitch Richmond or when you watch Ralph Sampson, you can appreciate these guys' game and recognize where this kind of logic that I have came from. Okay, I can see that. Okay, I don't really see that. The jump shot is a little bit different. Well, the athleticism is a little bit different, but I do see that. And then you can appreciate this person's game as opposed to you saying, well, he thinks he's better than him. No, I don't think that. No, I don't think that at all. I'm just saying he reminds me of him. I remember when I watched Chet for the first time. I was like, that looked like Sean Bradley with a better skill set. That's what he reminded me of. He looked like that. That's what he looked like. He looked like Sean Bradley with a better skill set. I'm like, that's what Sean Bradley would be if he had a better skill set. Now, does that mean that Chet is Sean Bradley? Is he a better version of Sean Bradley? Maybe. But go back and look at Sean Bradley, his ability to rim protect, his ability to rebound, how he got out in transition. Now, put in a long ball in Sean Bradley's game. Put a better handle in Sean Bradley's game. With Sean Bradley's dynamics, how tall he is, how he protects the rim, I can see where you see some of that. As opposed to, he thinks he's Sean Bradley. No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, we are going to keep it pushing. I got to read a super chat because apparently Reggie Reg doesn't like the takes we're coming with. He said, I thought this show was uncomfortable truths about today's NBA. I'm hearing the same BS I usually hear. So do y'all have some real uncomfortable truths or unpopular opinions?
Yeah, I do.
Truths,
you know what? Never mind. I know somebody that'll do it. I know somebody that'll do the trick for us. Okay. I got my man Gifted up here now. I know Gifted. I know you got something for us that's controversial, something that's going to stir the pot, something that's going to get the people going. Or maybe not.
Well, I think to open up, and first off, let's go with Chad, Ron, all the panelists. For me, I think the most uncomfortable truth is that the Denver Nuggets are not going back to the finals. For me personally,
not even going back. Gifted.
Forget winning.
What, like, wait, next year or just going forward?
I'm just saying next year.
Oh,
I'm going to go back to the finals next year. I think they can retool the roster. I think it's possible, but I don't think for next year they are the same team as they were this year. I think that a lot of their future is rooted in the development of their young talent. There's a possibility, but I just don't think that's the case. I think there's other teams in the West that are more dangerous than Denver now, even though they do have the best player in the league to me still. I believe that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I'll go OKC. Yeah, I agree.
I
think it's uncomfortable because people can't comprehend that the best player may not win. And I think most people at this point have, even if you don't think Jokic is the best player, it seems to be Jokic or Giannis. And both of them are in situations where it's not guaranteed they're going to be in the finals or competing for a championship. And people struggle with, if you're the best player, how are you not getting to the end? It's like, it takes a bit more
roster construction.
You gotta have role players.
Yeah,
I agree. But it takes a bit more than just the best players. So I think people struggle with that.
Mars, when I'm sorry, Ox.
No, it's good. I won't forget.
Mars, when do, and this could be for all of you guys, when we're talking about guys being the best player in the game, like what year are we talking about a guy? Okay, James is the best player in the game. Bryant was the best player in the game. Joker is the best player in the game. Like what year are these guys the best player in the game in your estimation? Because the reason why I'm saying that, because I do have a point.
Okay.
I think definitively, Jokic became the best during the 23 season. Definitively. I think it was arguable during the 22 season, but I think him and Giannis were like.
So by 23, it's undisputed.
23 for me, it was Jokic.
Yeah, by 23 was Jokic. Yeah.
Okay.
And before the postseason run. So just to clarify.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's when Jokic separated himself. Prior to Jokic, I think Giannis had that crown in 22.
Right.
Early on, I think Jokic elevated into a level where it was interchangeable. Before that, I'm going to skip like 21 and 20 because I don't know what was going on. The LeBron era, I think LeBron definitively became the best in like where no one could really argue anymore, I think was 2011. Even after, like, I know what happened in the finals, but I think 2011 is where people were like, okay, LeBron is elevated to a level where he's the best player in the world. I think you can make the argument in 2009 and 2010. Like, that argument was common, but I think it wasn't definitive. So I got 2011 to like 18 LeBron.
I think 13 is probably his most like by far a year too.
Yeah, I think it was 12. I think it was 12. That's
either way. Like KD was number 2, but it was understood that LeBron was number 1. Prior to that, I think Kobe had it for a few years. I think Duncan had it interchangeably. 03 was where he was definitive, in my opinion. Shaq in 2000, 01, bit of 02. Yeah. Before that, and then the Jordan era, and then Hakeem when Jordan was gone. But I don't think many people have held the title.
Was playing baseball.
Sure. I don't think many people have held the title definitively when you couldn't argue against them. I think that's only maybe like 10 people.
Well, the reason why I bring that up, Mars, and the point was, for example, Joker, like you said, definitively in 23. Mars, that's year 8, right? I think it was James in 12. That was year 9. Bryant, like there's some people who'll say he was the best player in the game definitively in 06. That's year 10. So when we talk about roster construction, these teams know what they have, right? These teams know what they're looking at by year 7, by year 8. Like, what are we still talking about roster? This is not year 2, year 3, where we're trying to figure this out. This guy is in year 7. He's in year 8. You know what you got with this guy. So why aren't you building around this guy to win an NBA championship? Are you just here to just sell tickets like Philadelphia did with Charles in the 80s? They couldn't care less about winning. They were just trying to get into the playoffs and sell tickets and just be relevant. They weren't serious about winning. So the point that I'm making when I bring that up about the years is when we get to that point, why are the teams still building around these guys the way that they are? They are more at fault than these players are, more than anything.
So like, I don't think that that's a bad take at all, Chill. I just think a part of what's happening now, at least in modern day, is with the new CBA, it's very hard to keep your roster intact to support your best player, right?
Sure.
Denver had to basically choose if they wanted to go into the second apron by keeping KCP, and they elected to not do that. Now, that might not pay off if the young players can't be what they think they can be, but a lot of that is impacting the roster construction, which means even if you have the best player with all the talent in the game, if you don't have a loaded roster, you're still not going to be able to win.
Right.
Still.
Now with that, I can counter that point, Gifted, with if you think about the Golden State Warriors. Because again, we're talking about not just being good, also having some things go your way. The Golden State Warriors, they got Clay in the draft. They got Dre in the draft. They got Steph in the draft. They got what's the kid from that played for Sacramento? That they traded for KD. Bonds. They got him in the draft, right? They got David Lee in the trade. The Boston Celtics, when they got to the NBA Finals, the majority of those guys they got in the draft. So the idea of the second apron being a deterrent, well, that's why we have the draft. That's why you develop your players, because the longer I can hold on to these guys, the more I can develop them. And now I know what I have, as opposed to I'm just going to go snatch this guy off the free agent market and hopefully this is going to make my team a championship team, as opposed to getting it right in the draft. That's why Portland is who they are. That's why Charlotte is who they are, because they defend definitively on the draft off the strength that nobody's coming to Charlotte in terms of free agency. You have to keep your free agents and you got to get it right in the draft. So to counter your point, I'm thinking to myself, if we are going to build a championship team, it has to be in the draft and we got to get it right, particularly because what the money is today and what the CBA is today.
Yeah, I like that point too. I just think the problem with that is the draft is always the draft, right? You never know definitively what you're going to get in the draft, right? Here is a prime example. Markelle Fultz was the clear best player in college, right? He was like that. But then after he got drafted, things happened and he never panned out to be what he was supposed to be. The draft is always a crapshoot, right? Compared to you trading those assets for a surefire, guaranteed, good star player, right? It really varies based on who you're picking and what year you have a high draft pick in. So to me, like, I hear you, like the draft matters a lot more in this era because of the new CBA. If you can draft a really good player low, you don't have to pay him until later on, and that can really impact how good you are. Prime example, Oklahoma, their best player is Shea. They traded for Shea, but Chet and J-Dub were draft picks based off the picks they got back in the Paul George trades and all that. So based off of that, that really impacts how good you are. But the draft is a crapshoot. Like, it's hard to say that every championship team had their entire team drafted. That's really rare. Golden State, it's rare to draft Steph, Clay, Draymond, and also Barnes. Teams just don't do that anymore. That's rare. If you can do that, you are elite in terms of picking out talents, right? OKC drafted Russ, Harden, and KD, and they still have no championship to show for it.
Ibaka too.
Yeah, too.
And they were in the NBA championship. They ended up losing.
That's true.
And they ended up losing. They ended up losing James Harden. It was a money issue. That's why they ended up losing him, because they jumped the gun.
And that's why I think that is the more important thing, though, because they drafted everything right, but the money and the management of their assets is why they still were not able to win. I feel like if you can manage assets well, even if you don't have a great draft, that's how you win. The Boston Celtics drafted Tatum and Brown, right? But their asset management got them Drew Holiday and Porzingis, right? To trade Smart when most people said he was the heartbeat of our team. That's why they were able to win, because they were cutthroat about it.
Fair. All right, fellas, we're going to move on to the next guy. Mars. Another uncomfortable truth about the NBA.
Say it, Mars. Say it, Mars.
Don't be nervous now, Mars.
It's okay, Mars.
Well, I can't think. Damn. Nah, I don't want to say something negative, man. I don't want to say something negative.
Good job, Mars. Good job.
Yeah.
W positive box.
Yeah, I like that.
W positive box.
W positive energy.
Let me ask.
Ron wants us to be messy up here.
Yeah, I don't want to be negative. Does it have to be
it's
about
your uncomfortable truth? It can be positive or negative.
Does it have to be about the NBA or like the people who watch the NBA?
The fan base. That's an uncomfortable truth.
Okay.
Let's talk about it, Mars. Let's do it.
Attacking the fans. Okay.
Let's talk about it, Mars. Let's talk about the uncomfortable truth that the fan bases had.
They need to hear this, Mars.
I mean, I guess it's uncomfortable when it's about you. It feels more uncomfortable. People don't know how to digest the game of basketball. And they don't understand, and they don't watch the game at a level to where they can actually comprehend what's going on. If you only watch games once and you only watch the games live, you're not getting a full scope on what's actually happening. You're watching it as a fan, which is fine. But in order for you to actually understand what's going on and be able to break down nuances of the game, you have to be able to watch games back, whether that's past games that happen just during that over the course of that season. And you have to watch the games to pay attention to things other than the basketball. If you just watch games to pay attention to where the ball is, you're missing off-ball defense, you're missing rotations, you're missing breakdowns, you're missing a bunch of things that just won't show up on the stat sheet. And that's why your opinion of players becomes skewed. For example, if we talk about players and their defensive capabilities, there's a reason most people go straight to on-ball defense, because all they do is watch the ball when they talk about defense. So they're not going to pay attention to what this guy's doing away from the ball, where he gets beat on a backdoor cut consistently, or he can't navigate an off-ball screen and ends up giving up an open three. People aren't paying attention to those things because they watch the game as a casual fan, which is fine. Majority of the NBA fan base are casual fans. But when you want to be able to talk the game at a higher level, or with people who do those things, and there's people who do it more than me, absolutely. People who understand the game a lot more than me. If you want to be able to do those things, you can't just be someone who watches the ball. Like if we're at a point, and I didn't want to be negative, but if we're at a point where we're calling someone who's egregious off the ball defensively, but is really good on the ball, a really good defender. I heard someone say Anthony Edwards is a better defender than Jason Tatum.
No.
If we're at a point where you can genuinely believe that, you're not watching the game with any sort of understanding that would make you competent when it comes to talking basketball. There's so many things that go into a basketball game beyond having the ball. Even the most ball dominant players have the ball about 9 minutes a game. Luka Dončić, 9 minutes a game, I think. And he's had the most ball dominant player in the league. Jalen Brunson this season, about 8.5 minutes a game, I think. They're the most ball dominant players in the league. It's a 48-minute game. If you're only paying attention to what they're doing when they have the ball for 9 minutes, you're missing so much nuance that goes into the game that, respectfully, your opinion doesn't really matter. And even if you go back and watch players and teams, if you aren't hyper-focusing on those individual players that you're trying to analyze or break down, there's things you're not going to pay attention to. Like, there's times where if I feel like I want to get a full gauge on Scoot Henderson, I'll watch Portland games and just watch Scoot. Because otherwise I'm going to miss things that Scoot Henderson is doing because I'm too busy watching Tumani Kamara. Like, you have to be able to watch what you are aiming to see. If you want to see how Steph Curry impacts the game, you have to watch Steph Curry. If you want to see how Klay Thompson impacts the game, you have to watch Klay Thompson. So in order to actually understand and analyze the game, like a lot of people seem to think they can do, it goes beyond watching games once and relying on memory recall from 4 years ago and expecting you to know what you're talking about. The other day, I said it in the group chat, I was watching an OKC Thunder game from 2011. I was seeing Nenad Krstić play. Who remembers him?
Hey,
I was like,
shout out
to him. I think that was his last year in the league. Like, you have to watch these old games. You have to refresh your memory in order to say things that actually make sense and that are right. Otherwise, you're just going to be saying, this guy averaged 29. He was great. He was the same player he was in 2014. No, like, you have to be willing to put in the work to be able to talk basketball at high level.
Miles, are you saying that if I saw a game last night and I don't know, DeMar DeRozan went for 32 and 12, and I'm like, yo, that's the best two guard in the league.
Expect a lot of that.
I'm on some nonsense.
I'm saying if all your opinions of basketball only comes from games you've watched once,
right?
Yeah,
and you only watch them once in the moment, like the live game, I think your opinion is going to be skewed because there's going to be a bunch of things that you don't miss. Like, even during the finals, I watched every game twice, live as the fan, and then the second time through, just to see what was actually going on. Otherwise, you're not gonna remember everything. You're not gonna
to make sure you can really confirm your eye test and whatnot.
Exactly. So I think that's what you have to do if you want to talk basketball at a level that I aspire to be able to talk the game at is a higher level. If you are just watching the game as a casual, which are most people, you don't have to do all of those things. But if you're gonna involve yourself in conversations, knowing that's all you do, respectfully,
you're gonna get fried. You're gonna get fried.
Well, you definitely you're so much more right than wrong in this that's obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think it's also the person too. Like, if you watched enough game film and you spent enough time breaking down games, whether you watched them enough, you can watch a game and see what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Who got a lawnmower going on in the back?
A lawnmower?
Yes. Whoever muted, that was them.
All right,
it wasn't me.
Good. Okay, yeah. So like you know, I agree with what you're saying because like game film is a thing. You have to if you want to know what's going on, you got to break it down. But it's like, you know, if you've had enough time of watching games and you know what's
you get
going
to a point
on,
you can recognize it. Like.
Yeah, you can see what's going on off ball and everything. But obviously, Mars, like it would be ignorant of me to say that if you watch it multiple times and pause and rewind and break down the play, then you're gonna know more. 100%. I think that's a great point that you're making.
I want to add on to what Mars said too. I think an even more uncomfortable truth is just because you watch a lot of basketball doesn't mean you know basketball. There are some people that watch a lot of basketball, but they still do not understand the game at a high level. And
How's
it's
that
like
possible, Gifted? I don't understand that for the life of me. Like, how?
I'll tell you. It goes back to what Mars said, right? If you're not looking at the nuances of the game and you're just watching the game, you're not picking up on the higher details. Like, okay, this team is bleeding value when this player is on the floor. Okay, this player is consistently trying to get to his left hand. The defense is not really picking up on that. If you're just watching it to watch it, like you're saying, oh my God, just big shot, but you're not watching for the details of the game. That's really what it is, right? Like, a big part of watching a game back is going possession by possession to see what is impacting the game the most. There are a lot of people that watch a ton of basketball year round, but they're not looking at the right things. But because they watch so much basketball, they think they know the game at a high level. It's two different things. And there's levels to everything, by the way, right? Like, I'm not saying that like I'm all knowing because I'm not. Everyone has tiers to it, but some people think they're in a higher tier when they're really not. That's uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, I don't want to come for the basketball players either because they're gonna get mad at me. So I'm just.
Hey, we'll get to that in the next go round.
I've never subscribed to that logic, Mars, that just because you played in the NBA or just because you played basketball, that means that you know more than me. No. I mean,
but if I say that I'm the bad guy because obviously everyone knows. I mean, even though I really be getting to a bucket on 2K, they don't respect my. They're
not gonna respect that. No.
And this is the thing though. Chill. With that being said, because and my mom used to tell us this all the time when we were younger, just because of our coaches, certain coaches and whatnot. Yeah. And she would say like, just because you play ball doesn't mean you could coach. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't work like that. But in the same breath, she would say, but you have to have played ball to know what's going on
level.
At some level when you're coaching specifically, not analyzing. Now that's a little different, but more so if you're coaching, training, hands on, you have to have had some experience in this game because there's always go back to that pick and roll thing. Always go back to the pick and roll thing because we were having a conversation about that a while back, and it's like, oh well, they did this and that. But if you've never set a screen, a high pick and roll, and had to roll because I'm rolling this way, I'm looking for the ball. You catch that ball, and chill. This is something that I had so much trouble with when I was in middle school, freshman year, and even into my sophomore year. It wasn't until I was a
sophomore
junior
year of college.
It wasn't until it wasn't. Stop it, Ron. It wasn't until I was a junior.
To make a point, Ron. Would you focus, Ron?
It wasn't until I was a junior in high school, chill, where I was comfortable catching that ball moving because you have to make a quick decision. Yep. And a lot of people don't understand that I got to catch the ball moving. I have to be able to not travel, have to be able to predict what's going on behind me, face up, either go up, kick it weak side, stop my feet, make a move, stop my feet, kick it back, repost. But these things are happening quick. These things might look simple, but unless you've experienced this, you might not understand all the things that are going on in that. So it's just like, oh, that person's weak because of this. But do you understand what's happening right now? Right. You know what I'm saying? Something, and it's just little things like, that's just one example. Whatever it might be, setting screens, it might be anything on defense, it might be on offense. A lot of these things you have to experience to understand. Like, well, no, that shit's easy. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it goes both ways. It goes both ways when people are talking about, oh, this or that, and I'm like, well, that's actually really simple, or that's actually really hard. You know what I'm saying?
Now on the flip side to that, I'm sure you've heard guys, Ox, who play basketball at a high level, and I'm thinking to myself, me specifically, this dude does not know the game. It explains why he didn't play long, because he does not know how to play basketball. He does not see the game the way the game actually should be seen. Coming off screens, curl cuts, slipping screens, understanding how to crowd a guy on defense, understanding how to close out on the top side, as opposed to getting beat baseline and knowing how to cut angles off. Understanding these things. But to listen to these guys, you would think that because I played pro basketball, I played at a high level, I am the Bible. So you should just automatically listen to me. I'm listening to some of these dudes, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I've played with a lot of dudes that are amazing basketball players, freak athletes, and they have no idea what's going on. It's just like, coach tell you to do this, and you might not be able to do it. I've played with dudes that I got a coach on the floor, like, bro, get over here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Amari Stoudemire said, nobody ever taught me how to play defense. I'm like, what?
Right.
I had a friend. You don't even know how you're good. Like you're just like.
That's a great point.
Being good doesn't mean you know what's going on. Like that's why they say bad players are better coaches. Like that's usually what they say. Now it's not always true, but that's usually what they say. I mean, Larry Bird.
The majority of them are.
Well, you got some people that I don't want to say bad players are better coaches, but I would say that players that are too good or very good might not be the best players because they expect something of people that they can't do. You know what I'm saying?
And they can't find it.
They expect players to be able to. That's why I can't train. I can't really focus on training kids under the age of like 12, because it's like, bro, you can't dribble with your left hand, you can't shoot with your left hand, you can't. I'm getting pissed out here. You know what I'm saying? So
even though I'm in the 5th grade, Ox, just so you know, I'm in the 5th, and I just started doing this. Like,
chill, I can't handle it.
Always got to do that. I got to take the younger kids. He got to take the older kids.
I'm in the 5th grade, Ox. I just started playing basketball.
Part of the reason why I could do that, though, is because kind of what Morris said. And Morris and Ox just kind of alluded to it. Like, when worser players become better coaches. Now, I ended up becoming good at basketball, but it was a moment where I was trash. So I had to tediously work on doing those drills and things like that. So I understand the grind and I understand the process, and I know what it takes for these kids to have to be patient and go through getting those repetitions through. I'm very high on repetition. Fail until you're successful is something. So that's why, like, I can put myself in their shoes, understand what they're going through, and help coach them through that stage in their life. So I actually enjoy that.
I can't dribble with my left hand because I don't know how to do it. Can you teach me how to dribble with my left hand?
Yeah, I definitely will. It's not like that, chill. It's just kind of like sometimes, like, bro, we've been over this for 30 minutes, bro. Come on, like, what's going on? But that's the thing. Kind of like how Ron was saying, though. I was in the gym all my life. Chill. Like, I grew up in the gym. I was forced to use my left hand. Like, there is no, you're too little. No. Go get it done. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'll just be like, yo, who's coaching these kids? Who's teaching these kids how to play basketball? You shouldn't be 13, 14 years old, and I still got to do this with you. You know what I mean? Like, let's pick it up.
Ox would hate coaching me. That's what I can do. Yeah.
Nah, right, Mars, you'll be nasty. Give me 3 months, Mars.
Well, Mars, it'll work with Mars. Mars used to play soccer, so your footwork, we won't have to worry about that. We got the footwork down. We might have to get you in shape, though. That might be the problem.
Mars, this my big body strength, so I can play in the post. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mars, you gotta stop. You gotta stop trying to fool the people and try to have them think you're just not athletic and you just can't do, like, bro. Mars, we're not like, bro. We're not falling for that, bro.
That's hilarious, man.
We're not.
Yeah. I mean,
he really got the chat fooled. It's crazy.
I like people thinking that
he got the chat fooled.
Yeah,
I like people thinking that I've never done anything to do with playing sports, because, like, I don't want people to think my opinion has more merit because I have a history with playing sports. So if people think I've never played anything, and they'll listen to me for what I say instead of, oh, this guy's done this in sports, so he must know what he's talking about. Like, I'd rather them just think I've never done anything and still, like, just listen to my opinions for what I say instead of, oh, this guy's done this in sports, so he must know. Like, I'd rather that. So that's why I do what I do. Also, basketball, like, I'm gonna be honest, I love watching basketball. I love analyzing basketball. It's my favorite sport. I can be 1000% honest. Basketball is never gonna be a realistic career choice for me. Also, if my opinion isn't valid because I never hoop, that's cool. But we not gonna act like I ever had real hoop dreams and aspirations. No. I'm like 5'5" with tiny hands. Like, I was never gonna actually be able to pursue a career in basketball.
No, sorry.
So why would anyone expect me to even have tried to when I knew what my genetics ceiling was? Like, I understand I was never gonna be good at basketball. Like, could I play it recreationally? Sure. It was never gonna be anything I could have pursued. Like, I just don't have the physical build to ever pursue basketball. So I don't think that makes my opinion on the game less valid. I always say there's things that players will be able to explain when it comes to basketball that other people won't be able to explain. That I won't be able to tell an NBA player what it was like in an NBA locker room. I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
Well, Mark, with that being said, there's a lot of guys like, you know, like me. There's a lot of us that are 6'8" with huge hands, and basketball is not a realistic career choice.
Shout out to those 6'8" people with huge hands.
Came across a lot of sorry ass big dudes. I'm talking chill, you know.
just big.
Not even the sorry ones. Even the ones that are good, but basketball is not a realistic life choice. Like, for most people, like, even people that are talented or good at basketball, it's just really not gonna happen. There's a limited amount of spots, and there's so many people that are really good at basketball. You can be really good at basketball, and there's people that aren't as good as you that are gonna make it further than you. It's just not realistic. Like, professional sports in general is not realistic.
Facts.
Hey Ron, speaking of dropping bodies, I know that there's a chick in Las Vegas that's dropping bodies.
Oh, thank you, Chill.
I just want to put that out there real quick. There's a chick in Vegas that we might have to put an APB out on her because she's dangerous. I just want to.
APB.
That's okay. That's my uncomfortable truth right there, because it was my turn, right? Chill. Go ahead. That's my uncomfortable truth. A'ja Wilson is the GOAT, and she is undoubtedly the best basketball player in the world. I'm not gonna have this conversation anymore with y'all. I'm through with it.
A'ja Wilson is
could she make the Heat squad, Ox? You think so?
Man, I'm telling you,
why is it the Heat? Why is it the Heat? Well,
all right, let's put her on Charlotte. You know what? I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to compare her in terms of matching up against players in the NBA. What makes A'ja Wilson the best player on the planet, Ox? Man, woman, doesn't make a difference. What makes A'ja Wilson the best player on the planet?
I'm trying to think. Maybe LeBron James. Who else is a more complete basketball player than A'ja Wilson?
LeBron's not as complete as A'ja.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think who is more of a complete basketball player than A'ja Wilson.
Not today, Gifted. No, not today.
We're talking about today. So
I just want to clarify. Relative to that competition, right?
Who's a more? No, just no. I'm talking about just.
Okay,
just skill set, production. Skill set.
Anytime we do a comparison with WNBA and NBA, it's always relative to their competition.
Okay.
But look. But this doesn't have to be relative to competition, because I'm talking about skill set, ability, and production. Skill set, ability, and production. Who is a more complete all-around basketball player?
James is more of a complete all-around basketball.
That's still LeBron.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
I mean, if that's I won't argue.
A'ja rebound better than LeBron. A'ja score better than LeBron. A'ja defends better than LeBron. She's more of a presence on the floor.
Relative to competition. Yeah,
relative to competition.
Game in the NBA at 39 years old. But Ox said it doesn't have to be. That's why
I didn't say that.
With Ron, I agree. Cool. With Ox, I
feel. Yeah, Ox literally said it didn't have to be.
And
then that changes the answer when you do that.
That's fine. I'm standing on that. Like nobody in the world is as much of a complete basketball player than A'ja Wilson.
Yeah,
nobody. Nobody. No. Okay, no. A'ja's a better defender than Bam. Ace is a much better
she is not.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's a better defender than Bam.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm talking about she's a much better scorer than Bam. It's not even a conversation. But she's a better defender and 20 times better scoring that basketball.
Okay, so let's rewind.
Hey, Big Ox, if you like it, I love it, man. You know?
Relative to the and we're not even talking about relative to the competition. We're just talking about player for player.
Yeah,
A'ja Wilson is a much better defender than Bam Adebayo.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Her ability to switch is not as good as Bam's. She's not as good in transition as Bam. She doesn't protect the rim like Bam.
She don't protect the rim like Bam.
She doesn't protect the rim like Bam.
What? Yo, you had the only place you had me. Only place you had me was with the switchability. The switchability, okay. In transition at the rim, it's A'ja, no doubt.
Ox.
No
her
doubt.
ability, her ability to switch and guard not just multiple positions, her ability to guard on the perimeter. I won't argue that. Bam having to deal with smaller players. Bam being pushed out further away from the basket. Bam having to deal with guys on the block. Bam having to deal with smaller players coming into the rim and the mid post. Not just that. Bam's ability to close out. Bam's ability to stop plays by rebounding the basketball. As good a rebounder as A'ja Wilson is.
She's a better rebounder than Bam.
As good a rebounder as A'ja Wilson is. Bam, playing against the guys that he plays against, rebounding the basketball, in traffic, starting the fast break, bringing up the basketball in the fast break. A'ja Wilson, one of the main reasons why she is as good as she is because she runs the floor like a fucking deer. I won't ever argue that. And the reason why she's as good as she is, in addition to her running the floor like a deer, those women look for her. They make sure that when she's running, they find her.
They find her for a reason, Chill,
because she's
running. Finish the play.
Right. And the same logic goes for Bam. Bam's a great finisher around the rim, particularly in transition. 100% he is. So the idea that now don't get me wrong, I don't think A'ja Wilson is elite. She's the best. There's a difference between, I think, being elite and being the best.
Respectfully, Bam's not even on her tier of basketball player. Like Bam's not even on her level of basketball player. She is far superior. Far superior.
Yeah, I'm confused why
we could talk about Anthony Davis a little bit, but
that's right. Okay.
But none like they're not. That's not even. He's not even in that tier.
She's definitely not the defender to Anthony Davis.
We know why Bam came up. We know.
We could take Bam off the table. She's definitely not the defender to AD.
I
watch Asia Wilson. I watch Asia Wilson. I watch her around the basket. I watch her block shots 100%. I watch her deter guards from the rim. But I also watch Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So I watch him rebound.
So AD might get the edge. AD might get the edge on defense a little bit, chill. But I'm talking about just all the way around.
All around.
Yeah, AD might get the edge. I'm fine with that. I can see that. But all around basketball player, Asia on the offensive end, Asia clears. Asia clears. It's not even close. It's not close at all.
So it's no way you can fight the offensive end. You can't fight the offensive end.
Yeah, the offensive end is done.
Y'all do know Asia's averaging 27 this year.
She's about to be the first W player to put up 1,000 points in a season.
But Gifted, here's what is the kicker to this whole thing. They play 40-minute games.
I know.
So that's what I'm like, averaging 27 and 40 minutes.
It's crazy. And I'm just saying, if you put Anthony
game down to 40 minutes.
Well, she plays 34 minutes.
Almost the whole game.
She plays a lot of minutes.
So why if the game's 40 minutes, if a game's 48 minutes, AD played 35 and a half minutes of a 48-minute game. Asia's playing 34 minutes of a 40-minute game. Why are we using the length of the game to determine her impact as opposed to
because by that logic, if you just up AD's minutes to kind of match overall the same ratio, he would average more.
And I'm a casual. I'm genuinely asking, why are we using the length of the game and not the amount of minutes they're actually playing?
Well, look. If we did it that way, Gifted, then we'd have to assume that if the WNBA played 48 minutes, then Asia would probably play 39.
So that 27 to turn into what? 32?
32 and a half.
Okay.
So that's the best player in the world, chill. In the world.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
good off that, man.
I don't think that, and this has nothing to do with her being a woman. No, it has nothing to do with her being a woman. I want to make sure that
that's the reason she's not the best player in the world. But sure.
Well, look, that's my uncomfortable truth. That
would be the uncomfortable truth there.
The best player in the world is not playing the NBA
or in the Euro League.
Wow.
The best player in the world not playing the NBA. The best player in the world is playing the Las Vegas Aces. Her name is Asia Wilson.
I'm with Ox just relative to competition. I'm
fine with Ron. Yeah.
Comment right there.
The gap that she has between everybody else, the first and second, I think Giannis and Jokic is more, or even Giannis and Embiid is more of a conversation than her right now.
In 2023, how big was that gap between Giannis and Joker?
Are y'all saying
that not as wide as the WNBA gap appears to be?
Wait. Are y'all saying that I think that Asia Wilson can match up with Giannis or something?
No. That's not.
No, you're saying she's the best player in the world. The best player in the world.
Cool. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not relative to competition. None of that stuff. Just
you just saying she's the best flat out. And
there's no.
But from what I know, the gap between her and number 2 seems to be
like very wide. Very wide.
It's wide, but like. Nafisa,
it's still a big ass gap. I'm sorry, Jim.
It is. I won't argue.
Yeah, well, I'm a casual, so I'm just going from my outside perspective. It seems to be that she's just better than
her. And Stewie, I think Stewie is the second best player in the league, but I think it's like this. I do. I don't think it's close.
Okay.
And I think Stewie is awesome.
Right.
I don't think Stewie is a good player. She is awesome. Yeah. But she ain't Asia though. No.
Low key is Stewie hater, but I'll leave that alone for now.
Asia widened the gap this year too. Like it was the gap last year. And I'm a big Stewie fan because she was here in Seattle. She won us championships and all of that good stuff.
Yep.
So last year I didn't want to accept it as much.
Yeah,
this year I had to completely come off that. Like, no, it is a substantial gap.
Ox was trying to tell you, Ron.
Like a year to like.
I was trying to tell you too, Chill. You too. You was on the New York train last year too.
I was on it 100%, but I wasn't like Ron. Like when I was watching, I was like. Stewie is awesome, but she ain't better than this chick.
I just think that like the playoffs alone, if you watch how she played in the playoffs compared to Asia, like it's a mountain-sized game. She was awful in the playoffs last year.
With that being said, though, Gifted, Stewie, what Asia did last year in the playoffs, Stewie didn't have playoffs like that too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
Stewie is cooked before.
It also too though, Stewie, it's a little different with Stewie over there because I don't want to say Stewie got a better team or she got better role players, but they just got a different like construction of a team over there. She got Sabrina who
knockdown shooter. Great.
I think John Quill is
more than a shooter. Yeah.
I think John Quill is the biggest difference for Stewie.
Oh, no, John Quill's a hooper.
Yeah, being able to stretch her game out a little bit more.
Yeah,
and play, and play more shooting more, less on the block work. And I think people see that and think like Stewie has just regressed a lot. I don't think Stewie has necessarily regressed as far as her ability because she is still chop, but
she just gave the Storm 30.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, she real comfortable over there. You know what I'm saying? She know what to do in that arena. But for sure, I still think Stewie is. I think we kind of knocking Stewie a little more this year than we should. I think she's still I think she's still amazing. But the things she's been asked to do have kind of been pushed back a little bit because of John Quill and because of Sabrina too. But I mean, I still stand on the fact that Asia clears her. And I felt that way for the past 2 seasons.
All I know is as good as Asia is, and that's your uncomfortable truth, they still don't want nothing to do with Minnesota. They want nothing to do with them these playoffs.
One game. I agree with you, but in the series though, the Ace is coming out of that. Yeah, the Aces got that. One game. I'm with you, chill. One game, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But in the series though, I don't think the Leafs can do it.
And want to shout out Asia Wilson even more. She had a 41 and 17 point game, or 41 points, 17 rebound game, which was crazy.
MVP.
She's just
ain't nobody do that since Candace.
Yep, nobody's done that since Candace. The game before that, she had 26 and 16 rebounds, 5 blocks too. The game before that, 42 points. So game before that, 20 points, 18 rebounds. So she is on a crazy run right now. I just got to tip our flowers off to her. She's definitely collected that MVP trophy.
Tip your hat, not tip your flowers. Why would you tip your flowers? You give flowers and tip hats.
Garbage, hose, trash.
You're not tipping flowers.
Trash. You can tip the flowers.
Garbage.
Nah.
Trash.
Why can't you tip your flowers?
Garbage.
That's not how that works.
Unless you got a flower printed hat. Like
if you tip your flowers,
I'm talking to the ladies. Ox, I know it's only. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to throw subliminals. But tip your hat or give her flowers or tip your flowers.
This dude is trash.
Whatever you want to do. Also, too, she has 72 games of 20 and 10. That's the third most in WNBA history. She just passed Candace Parker. Candace Parker has 71. Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie both had 71. She just passed them and she got 72. Sylvia Fowles is second on the list with 77. That record might not last past this year, but we'll just have to see. And Tina Charles with
she just got
100,
right?
She has the most.
No, she just got 100 last night.
She did have a good game.
She just got 100 last night. Yeah,
shout out Tina Charles.
She did for sure.
Quick side note, Ron, Fournier to Olympiacos.
It's stamped.
It's done.
Oh, yeah, they're not playing this year.
Olympiacos can play in the league. And y'all, unpopular opinion, Olympiacos can do at bare minimum what the Detroit Pistons did last year in the NBA. And as a matter of fact,
they're better than Charlotte.
Olympiacos is better than Detroit was last year. Olympiacos will come and win 25 games, bare minimum. Bare minimum.
The thing is, they got
a preseason game with Olympiacos over here. Can we get?
They got the bigs to do it.
See that?
Yeah,
they got the bigs to do it. Like they're gonna be small out there, and they got Sasha back too. So
sure.
Look,
I'll never forgive Mike Brown for what he did for that.
Mike Brown?
Yeah, bro. Yes. Just
Okay.
We could have used Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, once again, tip your flowers to Olympiacos for signing 2 NBA players right now this offseason. They've had a great NBA offseason. Also, tip your flowers to Asia. And want to also tip my flowers to Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark while we still on this topic. They both have broke some records as of lately. I know Caitlyn Clark, she just broke the assist record for the Fever, and I think she's basically on track to break the assist record for all rookies.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, chance the average is I think 5 more. And I think you have it for the
That's out of there.
Oh no, but listen, no. The thing is, it's not just for rookies; it's for the W as a whole. Yeah. It's the entire.
She already got the rookie record. She got the rookie record like 4 games ago. Yeah,
this is for the league, Ron. I think she has to average like 7 assists. If she averages 18 and 7 for the rest of the season, she'll break the rookie record for points, and she'll break the WNBA record for dimes in one season.
Because Tisha had the rookie record, right?
I think she did.
Yeah,
did she break the WNBA record for turnovers too?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty sure she will.
Yeah, I think she's already done that. I think she got that.
She had 7 turnovers last night.
That girl be coughing it up.
And now a lot of them. There's plenty of them where Kelsey.
I will admit that. I will, because at first I was kind of like, but she's throwing bad passes. But then the more and more I'm seeing it, it's just like the NFL though. Like we don't give quarterbacks a pass for when the ball hits a receiver's hand. But I think they need to start doing that. I know it's off subject, but the NFL needs to start giving receivers interceptions. If that ball hits your mitts and you don't catch it and somebody else intercepts,
that's on you.
Not be on the quarterback.
Boy, bounce off your chest.
Shout out Jameis Winston, man. That gave Jameis Winston 30 interceptions. Man, it was putting it right on the hands, man. It was boom, boom. Oh, that shit pissed me off. Anyways, back to basketball. Go ahead, Ron.
But yeah,
Caitlyn Clark don't make none.
Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese, they played against each other last Thursday. They had a good showdown. Angel didn't really have her best performance, but she broke the WNBA rookie record for double doubles. So shout out to her. She takes that over. She broke that record. And Caitlyn Clark had her best game of the season, 31 points, career high. And she also had 12 assists as well. So that game was dope. It was good to see them go back and forth. It was Barbie night for Angel Reese. Shout out Angel Reese. And also
Bayou Barbie.
She debuted her signature shoe. So shout out to her. She is signed with Reebok. And she's the face of the brand at the moment in time. Shaq was at the game pushing for her and the WNBA players to get paid like NBA players. So hopefully they can continue to grow and these women can get what they deserve. But also, Caitlyn Clark did break a record as well. Her and her running mate,
Kelsey Mitchell,
they are the Splash Sisters, Ron. Bookmark it. They are the Splash Sisters. If she can stay,
I didn't know she was that nice.
Kelsey's nice as hell, chill.
Kelsey been doing this all season though. It took
all season long. She been doing it.
Caitlyn had to adjust and get here so that we can finally see this. Because I was saying Kelsey Mitchell was holding it down. Everybody was like, oh, well, the record was terrible. But that's because Caitlyn wasn't ready yet. Caitlyn is that's time. Since then, Caitlyn has evolved her game. She's become accustomed to the physicality. You know what I mean? And now Kelsey Mitchell can get her. We can tip our flowers to Kelsey Mitchell now because Caitlyn Clark has stepped her game up.
And Ron,
because Kelsey been doing this all season.
And Ron, you left out that Angel Reese, she also set the record for rebounds this season.
Period.
Oh yeah.
Period in the league. Period.
Not for rookies. Period.
Yo, do you guys understand the magnitude of this right now? We've got 2 of the biggest draws that has ever touched the NBA as rookies. Just name-wise, with hype. They both come and deliver. Mm-hmm. Not just deliver, just showing us that they can ball. Not just deliver, showing us that they're going to have promising futures. They deliver in terms of stepping in the league and breaking the all-time rebounding record, and then breaking the all-time assist record. That's ridiculous.
That is
Moss,
crazy.
This is why college, and this is why I might be considered an old head when it comes to stuff like this. This is why college is such a big deal, because the chick that plays at USC, you watch her, and
are you talking about Juju?
Juju, that's who I'm talking about. What it reminds me of when I was a kid, seeing Ewing in college, and all right, what is he going to look like when he gets to the NBA? But watching him develop in college and become a damn good player, so when he gets to the NBA, like now the anticipation is even higher. So watching Juju, instead of rushing her to get to the WNBA, watching her develop from when she was a freshman, how her shot selection is going to change, how her ball handling, her ability to pass, how much different it's going to be next year. And then in her junior year, how much better as a player she's going to be. So watching these women in college is way different than today because these guys, they don't stay in college. They go right to the NBA, and we don't really get to see them develop. That's why I feel like that's why the league in terms of college isn't as big as it used to be, because we really look forward to these guys going to the NBA because we saw them develop in college.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong, really quickly, don't get me wrong. There are guys that I've seen where I'm like, you know, Zion had no business in school. Kobe Bryant there would have been no reason for Kobe Bryant to go to school. KG, guys like that, there'd be no reason for them to go to school. But there's some guys who, school could have helped you.
Yeah.
Chill. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Juju don't got no business in school right now.
But
think she that good, bro?
Speaking of Juju,
what?
But
you still paying to do it right now?
You gotta. But I mean, I'm not talking about just her ability. You got to let her mature. You know, let her game mature. Her game was extremely immature, bro. She was doing a whole lot of shot chucking. She has the ability. She's just as good.
Cunningham's game was immature, and I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. I'm all for developing. I think a lot of these one and dones should stay in college a few more years or still stay in the program that they're in. I'm all for that. But come on, to act like
now she gonna play with. Oh, I don't think she couldn't play. I'm not saying that, but she's going to be better when she gets there now, and she doesn't have to go through all the same growing pains. And also you might have pro coaches that are going to be less willing to take the time to help her develop, whereas in college they're going to be, molding her game, helping her learn. You know what I'm saying? And she about to go play with Kiki too. Like, come on, we need to see this. Speaking of that, Ron,
playing with Talia. I'm tired of saying that. No.
I mean, with Talia. No, stop it, bro. Stop it. Kiki, bro, stop.
As you were saying,
but like so last Monday though at the event, I was talking to the young lady from UW, and she was saying that she got something for Kiki this year, and also I promised her we were going
that work you looking for, Kiki. It's right over here.
I told her we were going to be at that game, front and center. So be sure to clear your schedule for that because that's going down.
Garfield High School stand up.
I might have to do that.
Shout out to Leia Daniels. She's one of the best to come out the city on the women's side, and she got something to show the nation. So y'all tap into UW hoops. Hey, but Mars, I know you might not be tapped into the women's side as much and whatnot, but I need you to do me one favor, okay? During this upcoming NCAA season, I need you to lock in on just two teams. USC. Obviously, you got Juju, you got Kiki, and you got their best player, Talia. Lock into them. All right. I'll stop hyping Talia, but Talia fire.
She's definitely dope, but come on.
Can't wait to watch her play. But and then on the other end, you have UCLA, and they got a bomb squad too.
They got a bomb squad. Don't they got everybody back?
Everybody back, and they got a couple transfers.
But did Notre Dame do anything?
No, but they got probably the best backcourt in the nation, so they'll be all right.
Yeah. People sleep because Hannah coming. She'll be here soon.
Yeah, but Mars, I just need you to lock into to those two teams. That's all. Hey, that's all I'm asking for. Can you give me one, Mars?
We'll see. I don't know.
Can you give me one?
If I have to pay to watch it, I'm not promising anything.
Because you over there, huh?
Yeah. If it's televised, I'll watch basketball if it's on TV. If I'm watching TV at that time, I'm not seeking.
Mars, I can extend something to you if you hop on playback. I can give you a pass if you want to watch the game sometimes.
And
if quick you tell me when the game's on, maybe. Yeah,
quick side note to DSG: UConn was in the Sweet 16 for 30 straight years. Don't ever talk about no love for UConn. Don't ever talk about UConn. Are you crazy? Never talk about love for UConn. Mars, it would be the equivalent to the San Antonio Spurs going to the playoffs for 20 straight years and getting to the semifinals, by the way. They'll never get knocked out in the first round. They're in the semifinals for 20 straight years, and you saying, damn, you got no love for San Antonio? What? Huh?
That's funny.
It was in the Sweet 16 for 30 straight years.
Tired of them damn Huskies.
What the hell?
Let me go ahead and throw this on the screen. I know a couple of y'all wanted to talk about this, but here we go. We have the Fever had a hell of a game against Dallas, and this is what Caitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell did collectively. 28 points and 12 assists from Caitlyn Clark. Kelsey Mitchell had 36 points on 5 threes. She went ballistic. But this is what happened against the Dallas Wings. The Fever ended up pulling it out 100-93. Shout out to Dallas though. Arike Bumake, she had a
bro. Arike hooped, bro. She
Arike's
hooped.
A baller.
Jesus Christ, she hooped.
She might not be in Dallas long.
Yeah, well, hold up, Dallas. So, Satu Sabali, she wasn't playing all year.
She's back now though.
Yeah, she's back now, but that's the reason why they're at the bottom.
That's why they won 3 games so far.
Yeah, so like if she's there, it's a whole different story.
6 wins.
Wasn't one of their wins against Asia Wilson?
Yeah, they just popped them.
Yeah,
MVP. Okay.
And in case you were wondering what Arike did, this is what she did. She actually tied the WNBA 3-point record with 9 threes. I think Jewel Lloyd and another lady holds that record, but shout out to her. 34 points, 8 rebounds.
That's dope. You see,
bro, her pull-up shooting is crazy, by the way. She just it's so fast.
Do you see this comment? Call this duo cold and flu. They leave the defense sick when they play the Fever. That's kind of fun.
I love that.
Cold and flu.
I love that.
I like that. They leave the defense sick when they play the Fever. That's nasty.
Yeah. With that being said, though, somebody had a super chat. Let me find it. Where they basically said that they are the best duo in the WNBA, or best backcourt in the WNBA. Yeah, and buddy, I hate to set the record straight. Unfortunately, they're not. The Seattle Storm have Skylar Diggins and Jewel Lloyd. Like, come on. Come on, my man. Hey, come on. I love both of them, but they not ready for Jewel, and Skylar is Skylar. Like, it's just,
man, I hear all that, but listen, man, every time they go down 20, I'm not even worried because Kelsey and Caitlyn can just come back. Like, it is crazy to watch the Fever because they can be down 25, 20, whatever. They get right back in the game every time. Kelsey Mitchell has had 20 in every game post break. That's crazy. 20 at the minimum.
She getting to
the minimum.
And they on the same page too.
They're on the same page with it.
Caitlyn are on the same page.
They're on the same page, locked in with it, Chill. Yes.
She knows,
absolutely.
Caitlyn knows that Kelsey is better on the right side of the floor than the left side of the floor. She knows exactly when to get her the ball, especially when she's out in transition. She knows when to get off the ball. These two together, the thing that I'm worried about, Ox, is with Kelsey, because she's 28. I mean, how many more years we got with her?
No, maybe 4 or 5.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And I think that's when Caitlyn is going to be that. I think Caitlyn is going to be the best league guard in the league. So I feel like if we could have gotten Kelsey maybe 2 years earlier, if we could have got Caitlyn now and Kelsey is 2 years younger, I think they would be running the league.
I don't know, Chill. I mean, elite. They got a squad like they got Nalissa Smith.
They got a squad.
They got Katie Lou. So they got got decent coming off the bench. Aaliyah Boston, you know what I'm saying? Next, the leap that Aaliyah Boston might make next year, the leap that Caitlyn can make next year. This team,
I'm not gonna lie, Lexi whole defense been good too.
Lexi, yeah, I mean this that's what I'm saying. Like they're bench, they got a decent squad off the bench too. And then mind you, they're gonna have a good draft pick this year also. So it's like I mean, I don't believe they're gonna make a run this year. I know a lot of people are hyped up about it, but it's not happening in my eyes. So I think they could be ready to compete next year based on Aaliyah Boston and Caitlyn Clark just taking another step forward.
So when you say it, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say Aaliyah could be better this year. They just don't give her the ball as much as they should. I mean, I like the Caitlyn and Kelsey show. But they need to stop shooting so many goddamn threes and give Aaliyah Boston the ball on the block.
I mean, I can hear that sometimes. I feel like a big part of why they're able to get quickly back in the games is because of the pressure of their shooting. I think
maybe they don't go down if they give Aaliyah the ball.
I can hear that sometimes.
She fumbles the ball a lot around the rim.
She fumbles it sometimes too, though, man. Like I'm a little like listen, right? I believe the best time to go to her is when like they're up 8 or 10 in this close game. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Catch the basketball. You kill
Butterfingers.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna dive into some of these super chats. Now we got a couple more good things to get around to as well. So let's go ahead and do it. Salute to everybody that's in here. Make sure you slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't become a member yet, become a Hall of Famer like Hutton Gilgores, Jerry Allity, Arch, Kendall Daniels, Multi-Kenny. We see Multi-Kenny in the chat a couple times today. Cobra Son of Raditz and Dorian Clayton. He's active in the chat right now as well. Shout out to all of y'all. You guys are all GOATs. We deeply appreciate y'all. And just salute to all the Hall of Famers out there. Also, if you haven't got a chance to, it's pinned at the top of the chat. Join our Telegram group chat. In here, we're talking everything sports. We got a bunch of different sports we talk about, but more importantly, our hoops chat with all of us in there be going up. It's active 24/7. Y'all make sure y'all come in there, join the debate, and start your own debate too. Come in there and propose your debates, your questions, whatever else it may be, and we're going to have a good ass time in there. Make sure you click that link and join up.
We checking ID at the door. You kids stay out of there.
Void Century said, here we go. Caitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell was the best backcourt in the league. The Olympics was just the break that Caitlyn needed. And if Boston can figure it out quickly, Fever might be able to win the title.
Yeah, not this year. They're not winning it this year, bro.
Yeah,
I wouldn't bring up Boston.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point about that break, you know?
Yeah. They needed the break badly, but I don't think Boston is like their missing piece to win. I think the biggest problem with them is they can go up 30 and they give it up so easily. Their overall defense is still a thing that wanes on to where they need the shot making to really edge out teams. Ironically, they're kind of similar to the Pacers in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like they have moments where they can play really good defense, but it's like you need that more consistently, I feel like.
Yeah. Best point guard in the league. It makes sense.
They can, but those are things that you know they can work on in the offseason. You know, they can work on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think Indiana is like, so super chats like that are great just because, you know what I'm saying, we're seeing, you know, them getting the love that they deserve, but it's also could be dangerous because we don't want to put that much on them. Like them, like Saints calling them a title contending team right now is dangerous. They got firepower, but I don't think they got a good enough all around team to be able to do that. I don't think Aaliyah Boston's ready to, you know what I'm saying, Aaliyah Boston, Alyssa Smiths, Katie Lou, any of their bigs, I don't think they're ready to compete with the firepower that's coming from Minnesota, coming from Las Vegas, coming from New York, even Connecticut. So they're just not ready yet, but I think they will be very soon, even sooner than we think. I'm talking next year.
All right.
Also, real quick. I hope Paige gets drafted to the Phoenix Mercury.
That's what dope.
I want her to get with Kalea Copper. I want to see that. That we need that backcourt duo next. That's the next backcourt duo.
Kalea, nice.
Yes. No, get Diana, get the hell out of here. You're done, Diana. Bye. Please
go. I want Diana
go home
for a year though. I want Diana and if Paige was to go there, I like for
you want that farewell?
Old Husky goat to play with a new Husky goat, but also too, I think that'll help her a lot though.
Well, I'm seeing Paige in Dallas. Like that would be cool. Paige with Enrique, that'd be dope. But I want to see her with Kalea though. I want to see Paige and Kalea get there.
All right, y'all. Chip shot through a super chat, and this is what Chip had to say. On the Mavs talk, it's all relative. If Harden had Denver's run, play-in and injured teams in 8th seed in the finals, he would be top 15 ever. How many rings would Bird/Magic have on average teams in a tougher era?
Can't hear you, Mars.
I do agree with his point, even though he's just using that to hate on Denver. But yeah, championships are relative. It's like, not to get back to the Harden Iverson discussion, but a big part of why Iverson is held in higher regards than James Harden is that he got to the finals and James Harden never did. But getting that far in the playoffs is going to be relative to the competition. The Rockets being in the same conference as a dynasty versus the 0-1 Eastern Conference, it's easier to understand why this team won 3 playoff series and another team only won 2, even if that team is better. Like, I think most people would agree the 18 Rockets are better than the 0-1 Sixers, but they didn't make it as far because of situations. So I think we can judge teams. We can judge teams and understand that you're just being a contrarian. Like we can judge teams and understand that a team can be better and not go as far in the playoffs, or a team can be better and not win. There's teams that never won a championship that are probably better than teams that did win championships just because they played in different times. So, yeah.
The 98 Jazz are better than some teams that won the NBA championship. I won't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
That part I won't argue. But I do feel like, Mars, on some level, I don't think you hold winning in as high a regard. I hold winning. I have winning in a high regard. When I talk about a criteria, winning is right behind your game being timeless. Did you dominate? Then winning. Because I know what goes into winning. I know you being good isn't good enough. I do understand that. But on some level, I do have to respect, I do have to expect when those pieces are in place, it can't always just be luck. Okay, you have to do your job too. A prime example would be 2011. I mean, Dirk was not good in the playoffs, but what he was, keep the game close, I'll close it. Keep the game close, I'll finish it. That's what Dirk was doing against that Miami Heat team. He didn't completely destroy them throughout the whole series. A lot of those games were just keep the game close and I'll end it. And he did that. So but I make that point to say that your stars, when we talked about stars and role players, your stars have to be stars. And if they're not, then we can't put them in the same category or the same conversation with stars who were stars and it resulted in wins.
Yeah, I think you can be a star who does their job and not win. And I think you can be a star who doesn't do their job and do win. Well, not doesn't do their job, but doesn't do as well. Yeah, when it comes to, well, I don't like ranking players anyway, but when I do, winning would not be a very high criteria because I think it goes down to more than what the individual does. Anthony Davis on the Pelicans, I didn't expect him to win a championship with the Pelicans. I think he played great in the playoffs every time he was there. They just weren't going to win. So I don't hold that against him and be like, oh, can't get it done with Anthony Davis. Well, no, the team just wasn't built to win a championship. I can understand that. Mm-hmm. I always go to Kevin Garnett in Minnesota. They weren't going to win anything. The one time they had a chance, they ended up getting hurt. It wasn't KG's fault. Mm-hmm. So, like, I just look at how the individual plays, strengths, weaknesses, what they do that can be exploited, what they did that was exploited, things they did that made defenses hard to deal with them, what they did on defense that slowed down offenses, whether or not that results in them winning a championship or not. I mean, if they play great defense, but they have 4 teammates who are incompetent, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, his defense ain't impactful enough. I'm not going to do that. So I just look at the individual.
How often does that happen, though, Mars? Because
Rudy Gobert in Utah.
Right. Rudy Gobert in Utah. That's one example. That's what I mean when I say how often does that happen?
That was just one off the top of my head. I'm sure I could think of some.
Because when I think about more times than not, when I'm watching a playoff series, not just a playoff series, but when you go deep into the playoffs, when you get to the NBA championship, more times than not, as good as my role players are, as good as my role players play, as good as my dirty work guys are, more times than not, it's going to be my best player is better than your best player. More times than not.
I don't agree with that.
But like the problem I have with that though is like
that's only if the
I can understand that for games or whatever, right? But in terms of trying to win a championship, it's about roster, it's about habits, it's about health. It's like there's so many factors included in that. To me, I don't use winning as a crutch to hurt a player. Instead, I'm like, okay, he was all these things and he won, so that boosts him up.
Sure.
This my role players are better than your role players.
Yeah, I don't think it says your best player better than. I think if a series is close, the best player can be a separator. But we said it earlier. No matter what Luka did, Dallas weren't beating Boston. No matter what.
So, hey, Mars, when you talk
most
about
people say Luka's better than Tatum. Yeah.
When you were talking about what'd you say? Oh, Minnesota getting hurt. We were talking about when Wally hurt his back.
No, when Sam Cassell hurt Sam Cassell got hurt in 04.
He get a Sam Cassell injury, right?
Sam Cassell, another very underrated point guard, by the way.
Right.
Shout out to point guards of a post game.
Even if Sam Cassell is healthy, I'm not sure if they beat the Lakers, but I'm not saying that they don't either. I'm not. That was a dog fight. They lost in 6 games. That was a damn good series. If Sam Cassell is healthy, I think we may have a different series. That series may go 7. And we all know what happens in game 7. Anything.
And then KG never saw the playoffs in Minnesota again. Yeah. Good work.
I think they made it the next year in 2005.
Let me check. I don't want to lie to the people.
Which
I'm
year was
pretty
that?
sure he didn't.
Which year was that? That's right, because Chris Webber was in. Was Webber in Philly? Was Webber in Philly in 05, 06? Because I think they might have made it one more year. I think it was the next year in 04.
KG didn't play in the playoffs again after 05. After 04, he didn't play in the playoffs again.
That's crazy.
Which year was the year that they beat Sacramento? Was that same season in 04? In the 03-04 season?
In 7 games. Right?
They packed them up
in 7 games.
Yeah. And then Chris
Webber Chris Webber was trying to give it to KG though.
Only except KG gave it to him. I think he went 20-20 in that game 7.
I mean, KG better, but shit, Chris Webber was holding his own up. See, Webber's holding his own. See, but chill, those are one of those type of series. Like back when before Bron got to Miami, like when the Celtics would play Miami before Bron, I'll be like, yo, I don't care who wins this. Like I'm watching, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I wanted the Kings to win, but I never want to see KG lose. So it was just like one of those series where I'm just enjoying every minute.
You win regardless.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not tripping, man, you know.
I just think about when we have final series. I mean, as good as Scottie Pippen was, as good as BJ Armstrong was, as good as Steve Kerr was, Jordan was the difference. My best player is better than your best player. As good as that Bulls team was, I hear a lot of times Stockton couldn't contend with Ron Harper. Steve Kerr was just better as a long ball shooter, even though he wasn't great in the NBA Finals in '97. When I think about moving forward in 2012, I mean, James was just better than Oklahoma City's best player in 2013. I mean, sure, we had some instances where you definitely needed some things to go your way. James was better in 2014. I think that's an exception. I don't think Tim Duncan was the best player in that series. Was Kawhi Leonard the best player in that series? I don't know about that.
It was LeBron.
Yes.
It was LeBron. They just
but in 2015, was Steph Curry the best player in that series? Did he outplay LeBron James in 2015?
Gifted.
I mean, some may argue that he did. Right? Some may argue that my best player was better than your best player. I think that's nuts, but some may argue that. In 2016, my best player was better than your best player, even though we did have some things go the right way in order to get to Game 7. Once we got to Game 7, my best player was better than your best player, ultimately. And in 2017, I mean, we had a bomb squad, and Kevin Durant became the difference.
Cheated.
They did. I'm not gonna argue that.
Well, you could just leave 17 and 18 and bad it is.
So it just happens to be exceptions every time LeBron loses. Okay.
No.
14 was an exception. 17 and 18 don't count. Every time Bron loses, that's the exception to the rule.
No.
Well, 11.
Right, because Dirk was 100%. Dirk would. My best player was better than your best player.
Let's go.
100%. Same thing in 2007. My best player was better than your best player.
Who's the
now
best
in
player?
2008? Now in 2008, was Paul Pierce better than Bryant in that series?
He wasn't even better than KG.
Now or KG. That's what I'm saying. Now that might be that those
Paulie stepped up. Paulie stepped up and went mano-a-mano with Kobe. Right. Like it was. Come on, Morris. Y'all don't do that. Don't
I'm just saying KG was the best player on the team. I can't say KG was better than Paul Pierce.
Okay, KG. Yeah, KG's the best player. KG was the best player on that team all the time. But in that series, Paulie stepped up. Mano-a-mano. It's me and you, Bean. Me and you.
I actually had
respect what Ray Allen did too.
I had to listen
Ray Allen was hooping in that series.
That Paul Pierce was the best two guard in the game.
Don't make me disrespect Ray Allen right now.
Damn, you gonna start hating on Ray
in 2009? I think my best player was as good as Dwight Howard was. My best player was better than your best player.
Oh, don't make me stop. Please don't.
Mars is out of pocket. I kept. You know what?
What I do?
Nothing. You didn't do nothing. Arcade 94 became a member today. Shout out to Arcade. Arcade actually became a member twice. Big ups to Arcade. Nice. So nice he had to do it twice. Mitsu sent through a members chat, and Mitsu said, "Ox is cooking. Role players make the wheel spin."
No doubt. But no doubt that. But can we have a day where we just Can we have just one day where we just review Paul Pierce's whole career and just show Paul Pierce just the ultimate amount of love and respect that he deserves?
I didn't know Paul Pierce being a top 10 small forward is seen as a hot take. I didn't know.
It's a hot take? Really?
People not having it. People not having it in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think it was just so disrespectful. Right.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I found
They're
out.
talking about no.
Shout out to Paul Pierce, man. He in my top 10.
We could definitely do that. We just got to do Ray Allen either the next day or the day before.
Never mind.
Or we could just split the show. We could just split the show.
Get that. All right, we done with that.
I'm cool.
Okay. Will Ray Allen pop up on our top 10 shooting guards?
Yes, he will.
We'll see, man. No spoilers. We'll see.
I'm asking, do you guys think that?
I would not be surprised if he did, Ron.
Okay.
There we go. I'll say that. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody brought him up.
Yeah, if the best shooter ever was on the list, I wouldn't be shocked.
Imagine that, Mars. Best. Uh-oh.
As much as I hate Ray Allen now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to mention
What's your issue?
Then you hate Ray Allen, Ox?
Yeah, what's your issue?
You
with
hate
Ray?
him?
What's the problem, Ox?
Uncomfortable truth about Ray Allen, Ox. Tell
What's
us.
the problem? What's your issue?
You can only hate somebody that much if you once loved them to death. I used to love Ray Allen.
You can't.
I used to love Ray Allen. But then he sold us against the Heat. He sold us against the Heat. Well, yeah, I was a Celtic. I was 100% Celtic, Mars.
Yeah, he a Garnett guy.
Oh wow. Okay.
He just had an off series. Why are you getting mad at him?
It wasn't an off series. This fool couldn't hit the side of a ball. He couldn't throw a ball out of a boat and hit water.
He did the same thing
against Miami. Did this against Miami, and then went to Miami the next year and saved their ass again. I swear.
The original KD.
Come on, bro. Like he did.
That's
he did that.
Actually.
You can't tell me that Pat Riley ain't getting his ear.
He was in his
ear. You can't chill. You cannot convince me that Ray Allen and Pat Riley ain't have a meeting before that series. Like, yo, Ray, come on. And then I'm gonna take care of you in South Beach.
So it was all premeditated.
Yeah, fucking Buster.
I understand, Ox.
All right. Mav Dunn became a member today. Melo Williams said, well, he's been a member for 7 months, and he sent through a members chat. He said Kyle Korver is still one of the best heat checks ever.
That's the game against the Bucks, right? You talking about?
I
in
think
2015, where he made like 5 straight, maybe.
Yeah, that was a crazy heat check. I ain't gonna lie.
It was cool. I mean, Clay had 37 in a quarter, but I mean,
yeah, Clay's probably one of the better ones for sure.
But wait a second, was that better than Ray Allen? Like, what was that against Phoenix? I think it was against
37 in a quarter
when he was playing for the Sonics.
Ox, he didn't miss a shot in that quarter.
He was 9. Was it 9 for 9 or 11 for 11? Something like that.
If Curry could have cuffed that ball and ran it over to him, he would have ran the ball to him. He
37 in a quarter.
Even better.
37 in a quarter is crazy.
He couldn't get him
better than that. Like he legitimately, like, even on shots where like he got fouled, he made it. They just didn't count the buckets, so he had 2 free throws. He literally did not miss a single shot in the game. It was crazy in that quarter, bro. 37.
Sorry Key has been a member for 9 months. Sent through a members chat saying Otani better, Dub Mars, and then gave his top 10. James Jordan-Jabbar, Russell Duncan Bryant, Olajuwon Shaq, Magic, Curry. Dub top 10.
Is that no more than 10 people?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it's not.
No,
it looked like more than 10.
Bird?
I told him about the left-handed game. He took him out.
No Bird.
Uncomfortable truths, man. Uncomfortable truths. That's what I do, man. He have Bird number 5. I told him about that fraudulent left-handed game. Now he out the top 10.
That's all it takes.
Go watch the game for yourself, man. It's actually a pretty good game. Shout out to the Blazers. Kiki Vandeweghe was sweeping. Shout out to him.
Kiki.
Deem the Dream has been a member for 10 months and sent through a members chat saying chill on Ray Bob. Ray was chill on Ray, Bob. Ray was like that.
All right.
You're going to see where I had him on my 2-guard list.
I know Ray was like that. I remember, man. I was the biggest Ray. I used to love Ray Allen.
Ray really good at basketball.
All right, y'all. We got one more thing that we got to talk about before we conclude the show, or get back into the super chats and talk about some other things. And this was a bold statement made by one of you guys' favorite people to ever play in the basketball association, the National Basketball Association, that is. This dude, he puts on a show every time he steps on the floor. He gets buckets occasionally, but what he does best is stop you from getting buckets.
Is this Patrick Beverley you talking about?
This is Patrick Beverley. Indeed.
I don't know how I guessed that.
This is what he had to say about himself. Patrick Beverley said, Steph Curry's, LeBron James's, Kobe Bryant's, Michael Jordan's, those guys come all the time. Only one Draymond Green, only one Patrick Beverley. When talking about the stars and the superstars in the NBA.
Yo, Ron.
This is funny.
Yo,
Ron, a meme or something.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. This is egregious, but my toxic trait.
Ox need it. He needs this, Ron.
He need that tape.
My toxic trait is like, I see what you're saying, Pat. I feel you.
What do you mean? You see what he's saying, Ox? What are we doing? Because does Jordan grow on trees? Is that what I'm understanding? What's happening right now? Like,
I just, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like he probably shouldn't use those guys as examples. He should have just said like superstars come around all the time.
Oh yeah, they come all the time. But me, one of one.
Like
me, one of one.
You ain't gonna see me again. You're not gonna see me again.
You'll see a LeBron. You'll see a Wemby. But me.
Nah, you ain't gonna see me again.
You know what? That's like that scene in Scarface. You know what I'm saying? Like, say goodnight to the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just one of them types. It's just one of those type speeches he just gave. You know.
So what is Pat Bev? What is the thing that he's one of one?
Because it has to be a thing, Mars.
What makes Pat Bev and Draymond Green one of ones?
A pesky defender.
Off, let's separate Draymond. And
that is not one of one.
It's not one of one. I know. I'm just telling you what he is.
Separate him?
Mm-hmm. Would you say why separate him?
Yeah, why?
Draymond's one of oneness
is way different.
Patrick Beverley's one of oneness.
I agree with that.
I want to know what makes either one of them one of one.
Draymond
Patrick Beverley is not one of one. Okay, you're a pesky defender. You're an irritant. Not only are you an irritant, you're ruffle feathers. You're a problem. That was A.B. Bradley, except he was less with the drama than you are.
That was literally
the same thing. He did the same thing you did, except he was a better player than you. That was Marcus Smart. That was Drew Holiday. I mean, I could go down the line of guys. Andre Roberson.
Pat had the league shook up for a solid 4 or 5 seasons. Pat dudes scared of Pat Beverley. Only dudes was running around and make noise, man.
I'm not gonna say they were scared. He was causing ruckus.
He had them dudes shook, chill. Dudes was scared.
That dude run around in circles, man.
He was doing shenanigans.
Make sure we clear on that part. It was definitely shenanigans.
It was definitely shenanigans.
I'm not in the league. Maybe the league did fear Patrick Beverley. I can't.
They was scared of Pat.
I remember.
I'm not saying he wasn't a good defender, but it's like, come on now. He's not no like elite one of one defender that we've never seen before in the league.
I don't think he's talking about basketball skills. Because
I don't think it is. I think it's maybe mentality. Okay.
What, being annoying?
Being locked in.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
He and Draymond's one on one being locked in.
Being stupidly locked in. You don't see that.
Yeah, LeBron not locked in, man. Yeah.
Dennis Rodman was stupidly locked in. And it resulted in rebounding titles.
Was he? Was he though?
Yes, absolutely he was.
Was he?
If he wasn't,
I think he was kind of crazy. I don't think he was locked in at all. I just think he was just him. And he, just went.
Well, see,
I don't think that you like go in the middle of the playoffs to go do some other shit and come back and hoop. I think he was just so unique in his skill sets or whatever that he could just go get after. I don't think he was like crazily locked in on hoops like that. I don't.
100%. See, and that's where the basketball discord gets confused, gifted, because people think, he was just so gifted in what he did. Like he didn't really have to work at it. He just showed up. When in reality, Dennis was way more than that. Triangle offense is a very complex offense.
That's true. That's true. I can give you that.
Picked it up like it was nothing. You don't pick. And meanwhile, you got guys like Carmelo Anthony struggling with the triangle offense. You had Gary Payton struggling with the triangle offense. The triangle offense is not a simple offense. Dennis picked it up, not just because he's not a scorer, but Dennis picked it up because he understood exactly what his role was in the offense. That's basketball IQ. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. Not only do I know what I'm supposed to be doing, I know what you're supposed to be doing. I know where the action is, who to get the basketball to. And on top of that, I know how to get in your head as a basketball player. Dennis Rodman is definitely one of one. Patrick Beverley as an irritant. Patrick Beverley.
Oh no, I'm not doing all that shit. I'm not doing all that.
Patrick Beverley as a defender. Patrick Beverley as an irritant. Patrick Beverley as a quote unquote motivator. He is not one of one because I've seen plenty of guys in the league. Like I said, Avery Bradley, Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, Andre Roberson, defenders primarily who are problems, who cause problems on the defensive end of the floor, who don't come with the baggage that he comes with. Now, the idea that he isn't talking about basketball skills, what could he possibly be talking about? Because when you talk about
mentality, that's it.
Because when you talk about him going up against, I remember him going up against Kevin Durant. He had that one good game, and KD reminded us, "Hey, I don't know if y'all know this, but
I'm Kevin Durant."
Yo, hold on now. Do I have to reintroduce myself to you guys? I mean, I know what he did was okay, sure, but it's me, guys. I don't have to reintroduce myself to you. So, I mean, Russ was right when he told us Pat got y'all tricked out here, and I think Russ was right when he told us that. I do.
I think Russ was completely wrong about that. I think Russ was just mad, just talking shit.
I do also. I don't think y'all give Patrick Beverley enough credit for what he did. I think Patrick Beverley was very good in his role, and even better than you guys give him credit for.
How good?
He's just not that. He was good as role, but he's just not that.
Yeah, he was cool. Shots him.
Yeah, that's it.
Because what Mars is saying, it sounds like a 6, maybe a 7. Like Ron, how good was he in his role, Ron? On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being elite, 1 being garbage. Where would you have him at in his role?
Yeah,
how good was he?
10.
I'm gonna say a 10 too.
What was his role?
Be a menace on defense, shake things up, throw off the other team's whole whatever their game plan is. Pat Bev, you go there and destruct everything they got going on.
So you throw a monkey wrench in everything we doing offensively. That's what you're doing.
Not only that, Chill, but who else you ever seen turn a cat into a dog?
Who else
you ever seen turn a cat into a dog? I seen it with my own too.
Yeah.
And also,
I never bought into that logic.
He bought the dog out of him for a minute.
Right. You either got that dog in you or you don't. And Cat had that dog in him. Pat just brought it out of him.
Also, Pat wasn't that bad on the offensive end too.
Pat is a prime example of one of the dudes I'm talking about that he could really go out there and score the ball. He could really go out there and score the ball, but he understands, you know what? You could do
That's
that.
not my job.
You can do that. I'll do this.
I do want to give Patrick Beverley credit.
Because
he got
garbage
in a preseason game.
It's preseason
over in Israel, and this was his stats. In 15 minutes, he had 3 points and 6 assists.
How many shots?
It's preseason.
And it's a different game over there. It is. It's a different game over there.
He did have 6 assists though.
Mm-hmm. It's a different game over there.
Also, the team he's on right now, they got a squad. I can't remember the whole roster off the top of my head. I know they got Ben Bentil. I don't know if you guys remember him. He went to he played with Chris Dunn in college. Providence. He went to Providence. He was an All-American in Providence.
I was thinking Notre Dame. I don't know why.
They also got a couple more NBA players too. They got Ish Wainwright, I think that's his name.
Are they in the EuroLeague, Ron?
Nah, they're Euro Cup. So if they win the Euro Cup, they'll go up to the EuroLeague next year.
So they're in the Euro Cup. They're not in the EuroLeague.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he has 2 more other NBA players over there too. They got a pretty good team. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I want to keep it real on Patrick Beverley. I don't think Patrick Beverley was that bad. I mean, shoot, he had a good postseason. Currently, he outplayed Tyrese in one of those games. So I mean, he's not terrible.
Shout out Pat Bev.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along. A couple other recent news topics that we haven't touched on. The Clippers just recently extended their starting center, Zubac, on a 3-year, $58.6 million extension. How do we feel about this?
Get your money, Ken.
Shout out to Zubac. I'm happy that somebody sees his value.
He's gonna play a big role for them this year.
Yeah, who do you think didn't see his value?
I mean, a lot. I don't think enough people put respect on Zubac's name, just in general. I hate, you know what I'm saying? He's not the only one. It's like guys like him, Nurkic, you know what I'm saying? Guys like Vucevic, you know.
So the European bigs.
The second and third tier European bigs are usually.
Yeah.
I'm just asking if you think he also doesn't get the respect he deserves. I'm just asking if you think he also counts as someone who doesn't get the respect.
He definitely doesn't get the respect from like
he's
the
in
outside,
that tier too.
but no, he's the top tier European big. But I'm more so talking about
Jokic is African. You're right. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying they're both top tier. I'm not saying he's better than Jokic. I never said that.
A whole different tier between those two.
In your mind, in your minds, or whoever says that, in my mind, I feel like they're both top tier bigs. I think DeMontis is the second best European big in the league, for sure.
France isn't in Europe, yeah.
No. He's better than Wemby. Well, come on, I'm not doing this. He's better than Wemby today. He's better than Wemby. Yeah, for sure, 100% better than Wemby.
To each their own, man. To each their own.
I'm just shocked that we even having this conversation. Like, bro,
I am too. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna move
on.
I'm gonna move on and talk about Zubac.
Yeah,
Greece is in Europe. My bad, y'all. Greece
but I just assumed we were talking about centers. That's why I didn't include Giannis.
Yeah, but you know, and on top of that, I was being, I guess, kind of not racist, but I'm just thinking about the white boys. I wasn't thinking about. So my bad. My bad for that. My bad. But anyways, though, like back to Zubac though, I'm just happy that, you know what I'm saying, somebody is, you know, valuing Zubac, because I think he brings a lot of value to the game.
Facts, I agree. Shout out to him. About close to 20 million. Shout out to him.
I think there's a legitimate value he'll bring. Harden will be able to get him the ball in good spots, and he had a lot of moments where like they needed him for games with all of their player injuries. So shout out to him.
He was actually good in that Dallas series. He wasn't bad in that Dallas series. He was good. Mm-hmm.
He also one of them bigs with the nice little floater game too. So I like that.
Shout out Zubac on his extension. Well, Chill, it's funny you say that, because Ty Lue said this on Winning Without PG. Quote, and I quote, he said, "I can't wait to prove everybody wrong."
You don't like that? You don't like that, Chill?
Well, they didn't win with PG. So
maybe PG was the problem. We ever think about that?
I mean, is he talking about winning a title or just like being able to still be a very good team without Paul George?
Well, are they still competing for the NBA championship? No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't. No, I don't think that they're still
internally. You don't think that that's their goal?
If it was, then they would have torn this thing down a long time ago and started from the beginning. They would have stopped this, and
they still have a pretty good team, though.
Then they're going to be a between a 5. I'm sorry, a 6 and a 9 seed in the West. I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers didn't make the playoffs this year, to be honest with you.
I might be higher on their peak based off of what they did, because they still have a lot of good wings, and I think their goal to get into like the top 5 or top 4 is have a top 10 defense, have a top 12 offense. James Harden and Kawhi, their offense isn't going to be that bad. It just won't.
And Norman Powell
off the bench too. Yeah, that's fact. Also KPJ. You know,
facts.
And done. Sure, I can.
And Jason Preston, since we just saying people now.
I'm all right, y'all.
Who do we say that?
Let's get into these super chats, y'all. Okay. Salute to everybody that's in here. Y'all sent through some dope super chats, so we're gonna go ahead and run these down. Smooth Tube said, "Everybody, what would y'all say is your NBA player comparison? For example, I just found PC Shaq highlight tape, and I'm gonna say he's like baby VC." Look, Shaq different. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. Hey, if y'all ain't seen that highlight tape, just go type in Shaquille McKissick. Woo. Hey, that boy's nice. A human highlight reel.
Mm-hmm. He shoot below 70% from the free throw line.
Damn.
Killing us. We can't go to him in the meat and potatoes of the game, Ron, because he can't make free throws.
Sure, I done seen it.
And we can't ice games.
I done seen that boy go 2 or 10 from the line.
Garbage. Get Shaq off the floor. He's killing us. Shaq, you killing us. Get Shaq off the floor.
Yeah. Free throws are not easy, chill.
Yeah, we good on that.
Actually, Ox, they are. You're at the free throw line. Right. Nobody's bothering you. Shoot the basketball. Nobody's contesting your shot. That's why it's called a free throw. Here you go.
The charity stripe.
That's it. That's why
I got too much pride for that. Chill. I ain't taking no charity.
Player comps. Y'all got some?
On 2K, I'm like Melo.
Which Melo?
Carmelo.
Oh, okay.
There's only one Melo, right?
I be getting to a bucket. Not much playmaking. Not much defense. But we be getting to a bucket.
Okay.
I think I'm like a hybrid between Draymond and Mo Spates.
I'm Pat Bev. Oh, never mind.
That's how I play.
Okay.
Post-ups, passes, shit like that.
Chill Ox.
I'd be a more athletic version of Drew Holiday.
Oh, okay.
Nasty. That's nasty.
I see you guarding out there.
Probably like a hybrid between Elton Brand and Lamar Odom.
Who shoots like Larry Bird?
Who shoots like Larry Bird?
Hey, Mars, that J is cash, Mars. Stop playing. That J is cash, Mars. You seen it. Even though it's way back here, it's cash.
Put it back there so they can't touch it, chill.
It's cash. And he's 6'9", so it's cash.
Brock Johnson.
What about you, Ron?
Patrick Beverley.
One of one.
Hell yeah.
Okay. 1 of 1.
Well, I mean, technically it's 2 of 2, but
yeah,
you get what's going on here.
For sure.
Brock Johnson said, Mars, who do you think will be the more versatile defender, Scotty or Jabari? Scotty Barnes or Jabari Smith? Came from an older pod where you had high remarks on Scotty. No bias, please, Mars.
When I first read this, my brain thought he was asking me about Scottie Pippen.
No, not that Scotty. No.
And I was like, what?
No, he wasn't.
So, but rereading it, Scottie Barnes. I think Scottie Barnes will be the more versatile defender. I think he's already shown he's more versatile in terms of mobility on the outside. This year, he's legitimately guarded 1 through 5. They've used him in that way. Jabari, I don't think is physical enough to guard 5s, and he's definitely not quick enough right now on the outside to stick with 1s. So I think Scottie's more capable. I just like Scottie's frame more. I don't know Scottie's measurables, but I'm pretty sure he has a longer wingspan than Jabari. So yeah, I think Scottie just long term has the higher defensive upside, especially from a switchability standpoint. But I like Jabari's defense, especially from like a 2 through 4 standpoint. I do think he can get to that point. And he's getting stronger. I've seen the workout videos. I've seen him in the offseason. He looks like he's getting stronger. So should be able to handle physically better, but I got Scottie for sure.
Do you think Jabari can grow into being a legitimate anchor?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he has the tools. I don't think he has the feel to be a rim protector in that capacity. I think he can be a Swiss Army type of guy, like in terms of just switching, can play backsides. But as your actual anchor, no, I think he needs to play next to an anchor, which is why I have some hesitation about Sengun. But yeah, I don't think he's an anchor.
You timestamp this because when Jabari Smith is an all-league defender, I want to come back to this.
I mean, you can be an all-league defender and not be a defensive anchor. I think Asar Thompson will be an all-league.
I ain't even talking about that. No, we talking about Scottie and
you can make the all-league defensive team and not be a better defender than someone who didn't make it. Jaden McDaniels.
You can play at that level, 100%. You can definitely play at that level.
But I do think Jabari can get some. Well, I think he's like our 3rd best defender. So if he makes it, then I think Amen.
Do you think Tari Eason's your best?
Him or Amen?
Random question though. How dope was Thabo Sefolosha?
Oh, speaking of, when Russ was getting cooked, Thabo was the one who would go take that matchup. So going back and watching old OKC games, if you ever see like a point guard matchup where they seem to be getting the best of Russ, that's where Tabo comes in. He takes that matchup. Russ will go guard someone else. Shout out to Tabo Cephalosha, man.
Tabo praise. I'm telling you, Tabo's one of my favorite role players.
He was a good defender in that way.
Tabo.
Everything that you do just said, that sounded to me like duck and smoke. That's what that sounds like.
No, it's just we understand. Hey, Russ, you ain't got it right now. We got someone who do. Let's just make that switch.
What happened to taking your ass whooping like a man? What happened to that?
Well, I want to win. I don't want to just see someone get beat up.
That's part of it.
No more.
If I can.
Speaking of getting beat up, if the police would have never beat up Tabo, I think his career would have been a little better. You know what I'm saying?
That was some bullshit. Let's put that. Yeah,
broke his leg and everything.
That was some bullshit.
That's crazy.
Damn, broke my man's leg. That was cold.
Gandhi KV2 said, Chilltown, what's your reaction if Evan Mobley has a down year?
The same as yours if Joker has a down year.
He's washed.
Yo, Chill is funny, bro.
Worldwide Mace TV said, are we doing a disservice to basketball crowning Jokic and Luka best player in the world when they don't even play defense? Ox.
If you would have asked me this months ago, last year, I would have said 100%. But I'm accustomed to the way basketball is played and viewed now. And I can acknowledge that these guys are putting their fingerprints all over this game, even though they're negatives on defense. They're still positives all around. So no, I don't think it's necessarily doing basketball a disservice. I think it's doing basketball a disservice for people to keep thinking the way I want to keep thinking, that unless you're playing both sides of the court, you can't be impactful on the game. I think Luka and Jokic are both in contention to be the best players in the game, and we got to acknowledge that.
Ox,
Jokic plays defense?
I was just about to ask that question, Mars. Ox, in your estimation, what's the gap between the effort between Joker and?
It's very big. Jokic is actually playing ball. Like on the defensive end, Jokic, you can see his hands up.
Yeah.
He's moving. He's getting his hands active. He's he's not just gonna allow you to cook him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna put forth the effort. Where I think Luka's kind of just more like lackadaisical with it, where it's just like I'm not tripping. I'm gonna get it back in blood. You know,
is it fair to say that Luka doesn't play defense and Joker? I'm just not good at it. I'm trying. I'm just not.
You know what? I don't even want to say that he's just not good at it. He's just not as good as I would like him to be. You know, he puts forth that effort.
You think Jokic can be better on defense than he is?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
No,
I just don't.
okay.
Some people just don't got it. He don't got the lateral quickness. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't got. Right. There's just certain things he doesn't have. And mind you, Jokic moves really good for his size. Like we were talking about before. You know how hard it is for a guy to be that big coming downhill, move sideways, and finish off the opposite leg with the opposite hand. Like he's nimble. Dude is moves. He moves like a ballerina for real. But it's just like on the defense.
A few years ago, he was not moving.
Right. And that could just be something he worked on in the offseason.
When he dropped that 35 pounds.
Drop some weight. You should. You never know, Chill. He might have been out there with you and Swiper learning how to get his feet going. You know what I mean?
Ron,
ain't no telling, man.
Hey, I'm telling y'all dudes, Swiper know how to have a good time. Yes, he does.
What was it that Kareem used to do? What type of dancing that he used to do? Was it salsa?
I think it was Machado. I think it was Machado too.
Yeah, it's something Kareem used to do. That's get them footwork going. A lot of football players do that. Salsa dancing and you know what I'm saying, do the yoga and all that. You know what I mean? So yeah. So just to answer that super chat. No, I don't think we're doing basketball a disservice. I think we're doing basketball a disservice if we keep trying to look at basketball like we looked at it back when I favored the game. You know what I'm saying?
When Swiper was talking about like the whole scene, he kind of undersold it. It's way doper than that. Way doper. Yes, he undersold it.
Shout out Swiper. Need to hang out with Swiper a little bit more.
Yes, telling y'all dudes, it was dope. I had a good time.
Reggie Reg. It's funny that we were just talking about what we were talking about because Reggie Reg actually has something to say about this generation. He said truths. The IQ level of the average NBA player has dropped since the 2010s. The softening of the rules like traveling and carrying won't age well.
I gotta say I agree. I have to say I agree.
Ray Starr said Caitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell is a duo you don't want to see in this playoffs. They got real action to make the finals.
No, they don't.
Who they gonna beat? Like
No,
they're not beating. They're not beating Seattle. Like they're not beating Connecticut.
They don't.
They're a 7 seed. They got to play the Lynx, right? Or no, they play the Aces. No, it's the Lynx.
No, it's not the Aces.
The Lynx are going to trash them.
Yeah, come on, man. Like,
but imagine they
trample on. That's not what the word is.
Don't.
Pummel. We can imagine, but they're getting throttled.
I'm not imagining nothing.
I'm talking about they're gonna get throttled.
Haters gonna hate, man. Haters gonna hate, man.
Almighty Scambo, emphasis on Scambo, said a team that gives up as many offensive rebounds as the Fever ain't beating the top teams in the W.
That goes to their problem where they just cannot keep a 30-point lead because they give up possessions like that, where they give up the board, they give up three sometimes, and now it's a close game. It's a 50-50, basically. They're going to be in a lot of close games, I feel like, still. I don't think they're going to routinely be a team in the playoffs that you completely blow out, but their inability to hold on to high leads is a problem.
Nice super chat. Rare Scambo dub.
Real quick, Ron, because you know me, I'm not a guy that needs a lot of praise. You know what I'm saying? I like to play the background. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need my ego stroked, but I'm gonna need the chat to show me some love for showing Luka some love after every single time I bring up his damn name. Oh, you're this hater. Ain't nobody. I'm looking at chat. Ain't nobody even saying, "Oh wow, Dub Oxford actually being realistic about Luka." I'm not feeling that, chat.
Because really, you just spoke about Jokic. You ain't even saying nothing about Luka for real. Other than Jokic puts in more effort. So really, you still hating.
Wait till the season starts. I'm gonna show y'all how to hate on Luka.
Since
y'all don't want to show me no love for showing Luka love, because every time I show Luka some love, nobody says nothing. I'm gonna show y'all how.
If you call that showing Luka love, then damn, okay.
I'm gonna show y'all how to hate on Luka. Watch this. Y'all thought it was bad last season. Watch this.
DSG Piccolo said, y'all hear that Willie Cauley-Stein's story about fentanyl?
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, but he shouldn't have been trying to pop perks either. Like,
y'all just don't do drugs.
Yeah,
and things may be a little better.
I'm a narcissist.
Zooey Damien, shout out Zooey. He said, "Do you guys think Donovan Mitchell is better than Jimmy Butler
this season coming up?" I do.
Do I think the sky's blue?
I don't want to answer that question. I'd rather not.
Shout out to Jimmy Butler though. When he has a playoff run, all of a sudden he top 5 again.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Contract year Jimmy Butler, man. Contract year Jimmy Butler. Y'all sleep.
We might see a different Jimmy this year.
Top 3 Heat of all time.
Who's your top 3 Wade if he won the championship?
Who's my top 3 Heat, Ron?
Yeah.
D Wade.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code playerschoice50 at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Hey Ox, just so you know, it's on site. I just want to make sure that we clear on that. It's on site. Soon as I see him, I'm telling you right now, Ron, it's on site. And you got, I'll hold him. You can just straight body him up, but it's on site.
That was evil.
Y'all gonna do me like this?
It's on site. So when we see him,
gonna turn his ribs into mashed potatoes.
It's on site when we see him. Ox,
Mars, did you see that coming? You knew he was lining me up for that.
It's on site.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
100%. It's on site.
That was a cold no look. I got that one from Magic, y'all.
We got him.
Yeah, I got some magic for you.
That was crazy.
Definitely.
All right, y'all. We got a couple more super chats before we get up out of here. Cultured Bander said, speaking of which, he said, shaking my head, I got YouTube Premium for what, L. Ron? The bad.
Hey, they got you up out of there, man.
Shout out Cultured. Cultured. Keep remembering he was Cultured Sonder. My bad. I gotta remember your Culture Bandit. You know, like how you call Meta World Peace Ron Artest, but he's, you know, my bad, Cultured. I'm gonna start acknowledging you for the real bandit that you are. Smooth Tube said, HT, what is halftime?
Hot take.
Okay. Hot take. Malone legacy should be wiped from NBA history.
So should
crazy.
What's his name? Babe Ruth, him too. Get Babe Ruth out of here too. Get Ty Cobb out of here too. The blazing racist that he was, get him out of here too.
I mean, that's like pretending like we don't still listen to R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're gonna see where he lands up on my power forward list.
No way, Morris.
We gonna see.
Morris. Hey, Morris, maybe we should just take that day off.
Happily.
Ben Moda said, big up Sacho and the Mandim.
I don't know what that is.
Anybody?
I think they
Sacho and the Mandim?
I think they dances.
Hey, well, shout out Sacho and the Mandim.
Dances. Shout out. Dances.
Mo said L Harden. That's all he said. Shout out Mo.
Okay.
Mo said L Harden?
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Cultured Bandit said, did you see KG's comments on Booker?
No.
On Book? Nah. KG been saying a lot.
Probably just called him soft.
He said he thinks that Phoenix can win the championship, though. He did say that.
I thought so too.
I mean, if they in the NBA, they can win the championship.
It's Zamzay said Fee just busted Asia's ass.
That's a fact. She did. She got at Asia for sure.
I'm telling you,
twice.
Our boy Fee is nice. She nice as hell.
Yeah, she not better than Asia though. That happens sometimes.
She's not better than Asia. Yeah.
Mavs Luka Kyrie said, I never thought I see Ox defend Luka. The box, L Ron.
I see. You got your flowers. You got your flowers.
L Ron. L host.
Yeah, but he sent that back when I was defending him for Ron's take about him not winning no championships.
So that means you've done it twice today. Yeah, exactly.
It's September 2nd? Labor Day? Hey. Remember this day. It'll never happen again.
Caitlyn Clark clears, is what Mo said.
Clears who?
Fellas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, Jamal. I see you dudes tomorrow.
All right, chill. Ken 10 said Paige. All right, Merry Christmas. Ken 10 said Paige with no injuries is in the GOAT is the GOAT, no discussion.
Okay.
Mo said Harden has a finals appearance, top 15 to me.
You're gonna see where he shows up on my shooting guard list.
You don't want to see him on my shooting guard list.
They don't like where I have him either. So cool.
I've seen that man do some nasty things on and off the court. Almighty Scambo with the last super chat of the day. Scambo said, "El Ron, typical cyber bully."
Wait, so you're not gonna have him in your top 10 shooting guards, Ron?
We shall see.
That's kind of crazy, bro.
We shall see. Are you gonna have Ray Allen top 5?
Top 5?
Yeah.
You gonna have Manu Ginobili above Ray Allen?
Yes. 100% I am.
I can't wait for that shooting guard list. On Thursday, we'll get into the shooting guard list, and then on Friday, we'll do the power forwards list.
Yeah, I don't need an AirPod to listen to R. Kelly. I listen to R. Kelly on a big ass speaker.